Hey there, REM PCs. Welcome to Rules of Cool, where we interview very special guests, creators, gamers, designers, and world builders. I'm your host, Rem, and today we'll be speaking with returning guest, DJ Bodden, about his writing, his career, and living in Switzerland. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss it. And don't forget, while you're here, to type hashtag RemPC in the chat for your free entry to be entered to win the Starborn Heir, which is book one of the Zach Landstrom series from the Fivefold universe. It's going to be reader's choice of ebook, softcover, or hardcover, Amazon permitting, and it can be yours by typing hashtag RemPC, donating bits, or subscribing. Every 100 bits gets you a bonus entry, and subscribing gets you 7 whole bonus entries. Now, in REM Alternis news, Subversion, the new cyberpunk fantasy TTRPG by Fragging Unicorns Games, is now live on Kickstarter. Build your community and subvert authority at every turn in this gritty Neo-Babylon setting. Follow the project now and get a free map poster with your hardcover book. Exit Vector is the aerial combat minis game coming to Kickstarter March 28th. Give your pilots some much-deserved attention as you use this rules-light game on its own or as part of your cyberpunk role-playing game. Get your rigor on with Exit Vector and follow the link in the chat to check out the project. Don't forget to enter your email. Well of the Worlds is also coming to Kickstarter on April 4th from Mobius Worlds Publishing. Powered by Prowlers and Paragons Ultimate Edition, this TTRPG setting transports characters into a new fantasy world where they discover they have powers they didn't have in their home world. Inspired by Japanese isekai portal fantasy stories, this is a world of adventure for you to explore. Learn more by visiting the link in chat and following the project. And finally, BattleTech is returning to Kickstarter on March 23rd, premiering at Adepticon in Chicago. This new Mercenaries campaign means more minis, more maps, more stretch goals, more fun. Check it out at the link in the chat and don't miss out on the launch. Now, time to get right into our conversation for this week, so stay tuned, REM PCs. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show and welcome back to DJ. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome because I'm here. How are you?
Oh, yay! Even at 12:30 in the morning in Switzerland time?
Yeah, absolutely. Though I'm a little bit of a night owl, so it's always good to be on my schedule.
Awesome. I'm glad it works out that way. Well, last time we had you on, we talked all about the Fivefold universe, and we had you had to share the spotlight with some other writers. And it was a lot of fun, but I'm very excited to get to know you a little better. So I'm going to start off. We did kind of ask this when we were on the panel, but I want to hear more about it now. So what is your history as a gamer?
So I think gaming for me was always a little bit of, I'm a deep introvert. I was encouraged to read books, so it's not like I just gamed. But gaming was kind of how I brought my brain alive a little bit with that fast twitch stuff. And I remember the first time I really played a video game was when my stepdad brought home his work computer, and it was like a Tandy, and it had an orange and black version of Frogger on it. And I was only ever allowed to play it like twice, and then he stopped bringing the laptop home because I would just monopolize it. But that was the first gaming experience. And I kind of, stuck with it throughout my childhood. My grandmother, who was like this really staunch, nice Irish Catholic lady, became the cool grandmom when she got me an NES. And actually like sent it over from the US. So I was living in Monaco at the time.
Oh, neat.
And that made it a little bit hard to get games sometimes, and I had to play with an adapter, but still same cartridges, blowing in them, getting them reset.
I was one of
Um,
those people whenever I would play an NES, like when Mario would jump, I'd jump too.
uh-huh.
Like I couldn't help it.
Yes. It's funny thinking back on the square edges on the controller, right? There were no ergonomics whatsoever. And yet somehow we still managed to sit on those things for hours.
So much, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
neat. So from there, what was your gamer journey?
from there, games and more games. I went Nintendo for a while. I went PC. I played a bunch of fighter games. So like X-Wing, Wing Commander, F-16, Strike Commander, and a whole bunch of others on PC back in the day. And that becomes relevant because I eventually became a military pilot. But on the Nintendo side, that was actually a really big social thing for me and my friends, right? I think starting in mid-grade school and going all the way through today, we would cluster around a Nintendo or a PlayStation or whatever else was going on at the time. We still play Mario Kart with each other. I mean, it's a bunch of 40-year-old guys getting around a console to this day and just talking absolute smack to each other over who can drift. Um, yeah, no, that was a huge part of my childhood. And I think, in terms of an author, one of the first times a story like really just blew my mind was when I played Fallout 1, and I was just like, holy crap, I want to be part of this world. So yeah, it's
Oh,
just been fantastic.
oh, that's so cool. So a lot of video gaming as a kid and reading and stuff like that. So when did you first start writing and storytelling yourself?
Storytelling got me in a lot of trouble. I was raised by a single mom, not a lot of strong male figures in my life. And when you grow up in the French school system, what they start doing is they start winnowing you down into to lanes that you're supposed to stay in pretty young. So by sixth grade, I was in like the international baccalaureate track, and by fourth grade, I was in the scientific section. So I was an egghead, and you're basically supposed to stay in your lane all the way through and work at a desk and do all this stuff. And the very few men that were kind of peripheral in my life had all these cool stories, and a lot of them were in the military. And I just I wanted those stories. I wanted to be able to tell people something interesting that kind of like stopped the conversation. And rewinding the clock, the reason I was raised by a single mom is my father drowned. He was a master diver, and one day he got a cold and he outswam his swim buddy while going turtle hunting, because that's a thing in the Caymans, or at least it was back then. And he drowned. And so 16 years old, I walk into my mom's kitchen and I say, Mom, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. And she says, over my dead body. Um, so
Oh, mom.
that was the beginning of a conversation. And where we kind of landed was, I was a little bit of a nerd. I hadn't done that many physical things. Like we'd done the standard gym stuff, but I wasn't like a physical phenomenon or anything. So she said, look, you're going to have a really hard time. And I think you should at least try to be an officer, and you need a year of actually preparing for this. Like, this is not just something you're going to get into. And this is not when I first started writing stories, but it is while I was writing stories. I was doing a lot of creative writing at the time. I actually got accused of cheating by one of my classmates' parents, because I sent them home with a story that the teacher like made photocopies of and sent all the kids home, says this is how you should do your essays. And they said I must have copied it from somewhere. Like that didn't really bother me. I took it as a compliment. And so I kept writing in school, in the prep school for the Naval Academy and the Naval Academy itself. I had an English teacher, Doc White, who was just amazing and really wanted me to be an English major. And I didn't really get it. I was just there for the military stuff. So I learned poli-sci. I did a poli-sci major instead. And he said I was wasting my life. So I'm pretty happy that I actually wound up writing stuff in the long run. And I always think to him actually encouraging me to write back in my early college days. But in terms of writing after college, it was pretty much a desert until I was in Afghanistan. And we'd done like a really, really good tour. Like a lot of people will talk about how counterinsurgency, which is when you're nice to people and you make them like you so that they don't shoot at you. Like it's a lot of like hearts and minds and soft stuff, but we actually made it work. So the beginning of our deployment was really sporty, and the end of our deployment was really boring. The new guy showed up 2 weeks early, as one does. And within a week, he said, "Listen, man, I've got it. There's nothing else going on. Just kind of get out of my hair. I want to do this." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to be in my tent." And I grabbed a laptop and I wrote my first book. And it was a dumpster fire, but it was like all those things that I really wanted to see in a story. And I thought, like, this is going to be amazing. And I'm going to just knock this out of the park. And I'm going to be one of those people who wrote a book, and I was super proud of it. And I got back from deployment, and there's all the stuff that comes with that of adjusting back to normal life and saying hello to my wife and kind of getting back to normal. And like I put some money down and I sent the story off to the guy who at the time, I don't know if he's still out there, but he billed himself as Stephen King's first editor, because back in the day he was one of the first guys who accepted a story from Stephen King in like a local pub. And he sent it back. He was an old school guy. He made you print off the manuscript and you had to ship it to him. And then he would mark it up and send it back. And it came back with more red than black on the page. And I was like, oh no, I don't know how to do this. But kind of unlike a lot of things that I did in my life where kind of I wasn't really great at it, first off, I'd just go off and do something else and find a better use of my time. Like for some reason, I got really stubborn about that one. And I spent 2 years on Elance at the time. I don't even know if that still exists, helping people edit their manuscripts, because I couldn't write a book, but gosh darn it, I could tell someone if it sucked. I fell in love with a story that someone is like one of those ebook farms where someone was asking me to review chapters, and like I reviewed the outline for the chapters and I was like, this is actually kind of fun and I could see how this could be better than what you've given me. What would you think of me writing it? And that was Black Fall, the first series of books I put out in 2015.
That's so cool. I love interviews where I can like ask a question and then just sit back and listen and get wrapped up in the story. And I love the stories and the journey you just took us on. That was really great. I was going to say too, there was something that you said. It was about you wanted to join the service so that you could have excellent stories too. So I know I'm going off book here, but
No,
what's your go-to story from that you gained from that? Did you achieve your goal of having the best stories to tell?
I mean, I've got a couple of them. I remember there was this old gunnery sergeant he was like a Korean vet when I was at the Marine Military Academy in Texas. He was about as thin as a twig, 80 years old, and still would get up in the morning and run with us. Just an incredible man. He made a barking sound, kind of in a military motivational kind of way. But you could hear him the school was built on this World War II landing strip, and you could hear him from one end of the runway to the other. He just had this like constant cheerfulness to him, like the world did not touch him. He was like Buddha in fatigues. There was another guy there at the time, Master Gunnery Sergeant Hager. God, he was amazing. He was a Force Recon Marine. He had no knees. They were both replacements because in Vietnam, a Vietnamese sniper blew his knees off with a grenade.
Wow.
And it was a woman sniper, so equal opportunity in the jungle. And with both legs torn to shreds, he crawled over to her and eventually made it back home. But I remember
Wow.
like this guy was like he must have been in his mid 50s at this point, and the barracks were two deckers, and this guy has replacement knees. But he was so dedicated to like taking care of the kids and making sure that, I mean, the school had something like a 96% college entry rate and 4% joined the service. And he would like drag himself up those stairs by the banister because he wouldn't let part of his responsibility not be walked just because it hurt. Um,
Oh.
at the Naval Academy, I remember one of the senior enlisted there was a guy called Chief Jaco. I'm not going to say what things he used to do, but he was just this enormous guy with like shark eyes, like, black on black. Uh,
Ooh.
and he was there because he'd been injured doing really interesting stuff. And he taught us that, if you're going to throw knives at someone, you should have several, and don't throw the last one. He was also responsible of the period of time when we jumped out of helicopters, and he taught us how to jump out of a helicopter upside down so that as you're sliding down, you can shoot your pistol. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I think I got my stories. I remember yeah, go for it. I
No, I was laughing because yeah, those are some epic stories.
yeah. So,
That's so
probably the
cool.
most stunning one from my Naval Academy days was I was on a guided missile destroyer. So not on the Marine side. I ended up being a Marine, but I was on a guided missile destroyer in San Diego, and we were doing an ammunition unload for a shoot we were going out on, right? So you'd load the ship full of ammunition, you'd steam off to an island, and you'd do gunnery practice. But I was actually with the gunner's mates. That's where my posting was during the month long I was on ship for that summer. And we'd just gone through stories of how, if one of these exercises goes wrong when you're loading ammo or stuff on the ship, like you can leave a really, really big hole in the port. And by the way, there's nothing left of you or anything within, several hundred.
Oh,
And I remember one of the metal tape around a stack of like 55-inch rounds. So like these are the really big ones. It snapped, and this round like fell off the pallet and cracked. And I remember the feeling of there's like four of us doing this onload, and we all looked at each other, and we looked at the round, and it was visibly cracked. Like the casing is broken. One potato, two potato. Okay, I guess we're all right. And then we got the round off, and we continued the exercise. But fortunately, it was a big enough round that had an arming device on it. But we definitely had a moment. It was like, not only are we going to die, but however it happened, I don't even remember. Everyone else is going to go with us, and this is going to be
wow.
like history. And thankfully, nothing happened. So
Oh gosh.
yeah.
All right. So with that adrenaline story, I'm gonna bring it back to writing and a little more safer space. So I mean, this kind of segues too. You've had quite a career from the research that I did, between start your schooling and now joining the military. And tell us a little bit more about your career since the military.
Yeah, sure. So I got out of the military and decided I would do something, kind of easy and familiar to smooth the transition. I started an entirely new career and became a coffee trader. And my family always jokes about it because it's kind of like a low key joke that I'm a spy. But I went from being in the military and doing a bunch of stuff to working for an export company. But I started in the coffee lab, cupping some really nice coffees and also low grades that you probably don't realize are in your coffee, and thank goodness. There is such a thing as a coffee defect that makes the coffee taste like Band-Aids. If you don't know what a Band-Aid tastes like, next time you have a Band-Aid in your hand, give it a sniff and imagine having a mouthful of that, and that's called phenol. And it's a defect that happens when coffee is processed the wrong way at origin or it gets rained on while it's supposed to be drying. But I did a bunch of fun stuff with coffee. I got to taste a bunch of stuff. I learned to roast. I learned how to calculate like whether a trade deal was profitable or not. And then from there, I went from the company's U.S. office, which was in New York, and there was an opening in Geneva. So basically, the CEO's aide. Yes, coffee can taste like Band-Aids. The CEO's aide was out for several weeks, and so he was dealing with so much stuff that he had a personal aide who helped him deal with family and house and all that stuff, and he had a professional aide who was the person who was out, and the personal aide could not handle the flow of garbage that was just like drowning him and his desk. And up to that point, I had said, hey, you look kind of busy. Do you need an assistant rather than me learning to do something I've never done? And he said, no, 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 learn to be a trader. And so he actually called me up and said, hey, DJ, we're swamped. Can you just come down for 2 weeks and help out? And I said yes, without even like going home to ask my wife or anything. Though I had prepped her beforehand. I'm not a bad husband. I had told her beforehand, I have a feeling one of these days we're going to end up in Europe. So I had prepped her. But I said yes, and he said why? Right? You're in New York. You're learning to be a trader, high speed, low drag, all that stuff. Why would you want to come and be my secretary? And I said, I think I can do more with the role than you think I can. And so I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we extended for 2 weeks. After that, they gave me a permanent position, and I stayed there for 6 years.
Nice.
I went with him to Uganda. We had an escort of the president's like personal guard. Went to Burundi and Rwanda. Rwanda is amazing. It's like the Monaco of East Africa. Seen Kenya too. Been to Asia. So went to Vietnam. I got to see things from the other side. So the Vietnam War Museum is actually pretty interesting if you ever get the chance to go.
Wow.
Went to Papua New Guinea. By the way, having been to Iraq and Afghanistan, Papua New Guinea is the most dangerous place on earth. It is scary,
Really?
scary, scary. Yes. And I haven't been to Somalia. I understand that's a pretty sporty place too. But the highlands of Papua New Guinea are definitely like a place where I thought, you know what, if I was lost out here without a guide and probably a bodyguard and a car, yeah, I wouldn't make it. It's a very interesting place. There's a lot
Wow.
of tribal culture, like is actually enshrined in their constitution. They have something like 800 local languages, and
Oh, wow.
they're protected by constitutional law from integrating all that. They want to preserve that, and they still fight for fun. Village to village, hill to hill. So I remember our escort there had a scar in his arm, and the guy I was traveling with said, "Tell him how you got it," and he said it was an arrow, because they still use bows and arrows on each other from time to time. And I said, and the guy said, "That's not even the funniest bit. What do you think of the last war that you were in, where they came down from the hills and attacked the neighboring village?" And he said, "Can't wait for the next one." And this was funny to him. So it's just a very interesting culture, right? Afghanistan
Wow.
was more of an honor-based culture. Like, they didn't necessarily fight to fight, but if you insulted a cousin, like one of the other cousins would come and kill you. In Papua New Guinea, they fought
Very
for fun.
Shakespearean.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It's definitely Malvolio to the hilt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a scary place. Australia, obviously scary for the animals. I remember within 15 minutes of landing in Sydney, I almost walked into a giant golden orb weaver that was as big as my hand and hanging at head level over the sidewalk. And I'm scared of spiders, which is why I became a pilot, not an infantryman. Yeah, no, been to Peru too, and it's just been an interesting run.
I'm gonna need more than an hour with you, because this is epic. Like, I want to ask more, and I'm like, I'm not allowed because time commitments.
Well,
Oh, how
I'm
cool.
sure we can do something again in a couple months.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, so I did that for a while. And then what I told my second boss, because I ended up working for the whole C-level in the company. I told my second boss, the head of trading, listen, we can play this two ways. I can create work that I can do forever, or eventually I'm going to work myself out of a job because I fix things. And once they're fixed, I don't want to deal with them anymore. And he said, "Okay, I gotcha. We'll work this on trust." And so around year 6, I started running out of things to actually do. And he said, "What do you think of this tech thing that we're thinking of launching and carving out of the company?" And I said, "Sure." So I became the COO of a tech startup called Farmer Connect. And we did blockchain food traceability from end to end. And I got the chance to work with companies like JM Smucker, Keurig, Dr. Pepper, Massimo Zanetti Beverages. They do Segafredo, if you've ever had those on an airplane. And that's where I am today.
Wow. What a journey. Like you're telling me more and more, and I'm like, okay, so you're like 80, right? Like
Yeah.
it's been a very full life already.
I mean, I'm actually thankful. Like I've got a little bit of the stubble going because when I shave it down, I look about 20 something.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. It's not always been good, but sometimes it is.
Yeah, right. Well, God, okay. I need to like rein myself in because I want to hear more, and I could talk about Australia nonstop because like I'm fascinated by Australia. But let's go to your series because I do want to
Absolutely.
hear about your stories. So tell us about the Black Year series.
Okay. Well, the long story short of what we talked about in the first 28 minutes of this call is I do believe interesting people write interesting books, right? And so that's the con job I'm going to sell you and convince you that you should read these books. But Black Fall, which is the first book of the Black Year series, is a story about a 16-year-old kid who finds out his parents are vampires. It's kind of a knee-jerk reaction to the era of Twilight. Like I remember reading a decent amount of vampire books when I was a kid, from the vampire Interview with the Vampire series. I remember there was the era of Blade and
My first fandom was Buffy.
oh, there you go. Buffy, and then there's Vampire Diaries, and then we had Twilight, of course, with shiny vampires. Good Lord. I was a big fan of Bram Stoker. Like I actually read that as a kid. I also liked what was the one with Beckinsale? Underworld. There we go. I really liked Underworld.
Okay.
Liked
Yeah.
the gritty telling, Blade, Underworld, and I saw Twilight, and I was like, no, this isn't right. This is not the vampires I grew up with. This is not how a several 100-year-old being should behave, right? I mean, he's hitting on an 18-year-old. This is kind of creepy and probably not really consensual. So I decided I was going to write a YA vampire story, but with what my understanding of a several 100-year-old creature should be. With all the hangups of being in Jonas's mother's case, a Hungarian Protestant who saw her father burned at the stake. His father being a French crusader, and the two of them actually met in the Crusades. And having gradually gone through and ended up in kind of a New York agency that's kind of like the Men in Black of this universe. Where vampires aren't as dominant as in Blade. Like they've kept themselves fairly controlled. But they've benefited from economics, right? Interest is compounding. So they're all wealthy, they're all quite powerful. And I really wanted to put an emphasis on mental powers because I know, your classic Dracula has that hypnotic effect on people. So I split them into kind of the vampires into 3 main categories. Some of them were kind of strikers where they're able to move fast or walk on walls or do that kind of stuff. Some of them were kind of mental giants. So if you think of your Knights of the Old Republic, they'd be your counselor, where they can just like punch through your mental defenses and overcome you. And the last kind were puppeteers, and they were kind of like a little bit like, if you think of Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2, like, you remember that screenshot they always showed of the Sith that was controlling like multiple lightsabers with their mind, like that we never really got to see until the final boss. That's the puppeteer, where they're not as strong as the kind of pure DPS brain taker over, but they can control multiple people at once and use them as their kind of meat shields. But they become unstable over time. And so I wrote Black Fall to be all the stuff that I really loved about vampires and werewolves and ghosts and ancient sorcerers. My werewolves have Irish accents. They tell dog jokes. They're extremely legalistic. You're only allowed to have a certain number of werewolves per plots of land. Because they need enough food to sustain themselves, or else they go crazy and start eating humans. So there's an extremely rigid society, but at the same time, they're throwing dog jokes at each other. The vampires have blood flow issues down there. So it's not really, and in fact, Jonas's birth was a complete surprise to both Alice and his mother and father. And it was because they were testing anti-sun meds, and it made them human temporarily. I had an elaborate magical system in it. I built out the history. I had kind of mind castles where they were like attacking each other with their brains. So it is a howling good time. That is exactly the spirit of it. In fact, one of my favorite moments of the series is in the second book, where the ultra responsible like white wolf, who has become Jonas's friend, they're both driving to this town that's gone silent, and they're having this really serious discussion. And it's one of those tense moments between friends where, if you say one more word, you're going to say something that's not going to be fixable. And so they're quiet for a moment, and then Jonas looks over and says, "Go on, you want to." And Kieran says, "What?" And he says, "Roll down the window and stick your head out. I won't tell anyone." So the werewolf looks at him, and it's like a little moment where you're like, should I be offended that the vampire is being a racist? And then Kieran, who's led this really like insular life, says, "You know what? I'm going to do it." And he rolls down the window and he sticks his head out. And his first set is like, "Oh my God, this smells amazing." And he's, like tears streaking down his face. The wind is blowing past. He's driving with one hand on the steering wheel, a really serious character. And then the police lights start flashing. So that's the beginning of book 2.
Awesome. Cool. That's a fascinating take and a fascinating world. I like the comedy that's there, because one of the things is a lot of the vampire mythos takes itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, guys, we're playing in make believe. It doesn't have to be dark and gloomy and broody all the time. But that's really fun. Neat. Okay, so we've got Black Year, and that was your first series, right?
That was my first series.
Okay.
The first one I published, right? Obviously, there was that one that's covered in red ink and that lives in a box forever, and we love it, and that's why I did the Fivefold Universe, but it will never be published.
Amazing. All right, so tell us then, let's go into Viridian Gate Online. What's that?
So I told you when I wrote my first book on deployment, I found out that being a writer actually takes a little bit, and it took me 4 years to get good enough where I thought, yeah, I could put this in front of someone. And actually the dedication to Black Fall is to my wife, because at one point when I was putting short story after short story after short story in front of her, one day she finally lost it, and she said, "I don't give a bleep about your characters." And I looked at her, and this was at a point where I noticed like people were getting tired of me trying to ask them for feedback. And I looked at her, and she looked at me with that kind of cringy look, like, have I said one word too far? And I said, "Thank you." And I read a book on how to make better characters. And again, that's why we talked about before the call, why my secondary characters tend to be so well fleshed out, is because I put so much effort into writing characters that are interesting. So first I found out it's hard to write books. Then I wrote a book, and then I found out that if you don't market your books, they won't sell.
What?
Yeah, it's a crazy thing, but I just didn't think that far, and I didn't want to do it. So I wrote the first three books, the Black Fall, White Winter, and Red Spring, and they weren't selling. And I had a whole bunch of work to do because I was becoming a coffee trader, and just working off out of my mind. And I was about to quit. And there was an author who was also a prior Marine and had started writing around the same time. But he just kind of like he was a missionary in Thailand living on a dirt floor, and all he had in the house was like a typewriter, and he cranked out his books and he got really serious about it. And he and his wife started a publishing company, and so they did the marketing, and he took off, right, and he was doing well. And I looked at him and I looked at me, and I felt the kind of gut check of I'm a worthless person and my ideas are stupid and no one wants to read them.
No, it's not
And
imposter syndrome.
yeah, who would have thunk it? And then like that guy, James, that I just told you about, opened his universe to short story submissions. And I hadn't written anything in months, and I was about to throw the towel in, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this one just for fun. And so I wrote a short story called A Final Kindness, that took the lit RPG genre, which is writing about people getting stuck in a video game that has stats and character sheets and skills. And that's crunchy with the numbers, right? So the system drives what's possible. I wrote a short story with the intent of breaking everything he has established, but without breaking canon, right? So everything that I could take that there was room to like rotate the camera 90 degrees and show it from a different angle, I did. And people loved it. And then I said, well, great, because I've got three books planned. And would you like me to write them? And he said yes.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and so the core story is basically it's a VR MMORPG, so like Sword Art Online
Yep,
or
that's what I was thinking.
yeah, exactly. And it's a game company that's developing this game, and the testers are just like quitting in droves. Like, even the like the types of people who volunteer for medical research are like dropping out of this trial, because it has a troubling effect on your balance. It makes you feel like you're dying because it's not synchronizing, and so they're going to can the game. And Alan, who has spent 2 years working on this thing, not as a programmer, but as like the HR guy and like assistant to the management, obviously that's a reference to my life. He gets back from the meeting where the kind of Elon Musk or type guy says we're going to can the game, and sorry, and it's not anyone's fault, but we tried something 2 years too soon or 5 years too soon. He decides to have a cup of vodka amarettos and sneak into the office and just log in and gut it out. And so Alan, being the cerebral guy that he is, he figures out that the game just needs tuning, right? It needs to be tuned until it feels like he's in it, and he needs to believe he's in it. And that was something that I got from James's original series, where, eating the food, participating in the life, touching things, that anchors you in the game. And so your body doesn't freak out that it's having an out-of-body experience. It assumes that the game is real. And so he goes through that, and him and one of the testers kind of tune that in. And then, of course, he decides to go the extra mile and says, not only am I going to log into this thing and not, freak out, I'm going to stay in it for like 48 hours. I'm going to stay in the whole weekend. And when everyone comes back on Monday, I'm going to be a hero. And so it's your standard kind of D&D scenario, except again, Alan is not like a really buff, like gym going guy. He's not a LARPer. He's never held a sword. He grew up in Nice Town. And so the game assigns him the character class of illusionist. And the first skill he learns is how to lie convincingly, and also how to run away and be able to drop past the stamina out limit in return for increasing amounts of pain. So those are his first starting skills, is how to bullshit people and how to run. And so in the process of Alan being Alan, He woos a tavern wench. He plays a card game that we later launched in a Kickstarter. He foils an assassination and then becomes the target of that assassination, and therefore spends a lot of time bullshitting his way out of trouble and running away. He goes through all this stuff and eventually becomes a hero of the Empire, completely by happenstance, with a lot of screaming and doing things that he basically had no choice but to do. There's a lot of humor in it. I wrote that first book, and I actually spent the orcs in this universe are called Risi. And I spent 4 books, and this is absolutely true. I spent 4 books setting up a joke. And that joke is, and you can listen to it if you listen to the sample of the audio on Audible of book 4. I spent 4 books setting up the joke that the Risi, the orcs, when they get really drunk or they get really beat up in a fight, they celebrate by getting a cup full of peanuts and crushing them up with honey, and eating that out of the cup. And then by book 2, I introduced one of these Risi who's like having a glass of milk with it. And Alan says, "Do you want to put chocolate in your milk?" And the Risi says, "No, that'd be weird. What made you think of that?" And Alan says, "Oh, nothing. I guess the world isn't ready for Reese's milk chocolate and peanut butter cup."
Well, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes early, we're going to end because I quit. I'm so disappointed in you right now. Also impressed. I'm really angry about it.
But that's the type of person I am. If you give me something like a Risi, I have to tell the rest of the joke, and I will spend 4 books doing it. The third book, I had a comedy club where I made fun of all the species, and also used it to kind of score points with Alan's new girlfriend. I have a bathhouse scene because it's Romanesque, not Romanesque, but Roman-esque.
Yeah.
So baths. And I was very descriptive with everything that dangled, was wrinkled, hung over, or so on and so forth. I like to tell jokes. I like to have fun. And I like to really just show off what would really happen under these circumstances and what's the reality of it. So
cool. Oh, that's so cool.
The Illusionist.
Neat. I'm excited about. I have so many books to get, DJ. So many books to get. But I'm excited about them. Although I'm going to boo vocally when I read the Reese joke. So
absolutely.
I'll just send you an email that just says boo, and you'll know when I got there. All right. So I know we only have a few minutes left. So let's kind of, for those who missed your first appearance, can you tell us about the Fivefold Universe series, which, by the way, for our viewers, if you type #RemPC in the chat, we have a giveaway of the Starborn Heir, as DJ is very nicely Vanna Whiting. And that can be yours. And it's your choice of ebook, softcover, or hardcover, which is really cool. So whatever your cup of tea is. So type #RemPC in the chat. Donate some bits to get bonus entries, or subscribe for 7 full bonus entries while DJ tells us about the series.
All right. So after writing 3 and eventually 4 books in the Illusionist series, I showed up in a Zoom call with James and Jeanette, his wife. And I said, "Hey, what do you think of the Illusion series?" He said, "Yeah, it was pretty good. It's like fantastic. I've got a 50-page PowerPoint presentation about why we should start up a new sci-fi fandom." So I pulled it out, and they were a little skeptical at first, and then like they started like getting into it, and then they realized this might actually be a good idea.
To be fair, if anyone was like, "I have a 50-page PowerPoint presentation to show you," I'm immediately turned off. Like, right? You have to win me back real hard after that.
Cool story though. Once when I was in Afghanistan, there was this really, really like career-driven officer who stole my job. He showed up like 6 months after me in the battalion and decided that he had seniority, so he was going to take the top job and give me the crap job. And after me learning how to speak Pashtun and the crap job actually being the most active part of the theater and actually doing quite well, we were going into the last operation of the deployment. And he sent this PowerPoint down that was supposed to be what this final operation was going to be, which is a heliborne insert into an enemy held town. And I looked at it. I looked at the infantry company commander, and I said, "Philippe, is this?" And he said, "I don't know, man. Headquarters just sent it down." And so I spent, we were talking about ADHD superpowers. I spent the next 6 hours putting together a PowerPoint, and it was animated and it was better. So they took the op away from him and gave it to me. And that made me very, very happy. So PowerPoint doesn't always have to be awful. Mine had moving tanks and aircraft on it.
Cool. So next time I need to do a PowerPoint for someone, I'm going to pull you in. Be like, how do I make this not suck?
Absolutely. But the Fivefold Universe.
Yes.
Long story short, the Fivefold Universe is born of my love of sci-fi and my failed attempt to write sci-fi in Afghanistan. I finally, after 10 years of writing, felt like I was ready. So I made my 50-page PowerPoint, and where Fivefold Universe sits is between Star Wars, Star Trek, and Warhammer 40K as the outside layer of the circle. So it's a little bit more sciencey than Star Wars. It's a little bit more gritty than Star Trek. There is an economy. People can be poor. It's a little bit more hopeful than Warhammer. So you can actually win. It's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible. And then the center of the circle is BattleTech, it's Firefly, and it's The Expanse. So that's what you would feel like reading some of these books. The first series, Zach Landstrom, Starborn Heir, is about the guy who's supposed to inherit a planet and instead decides to piss off and become a space pirate. And so after 26 years of being raised by his father, the governor, and being educated by the state, he slips presidential security. He gathers a crew of misfits, including like a mercenary who always takes dangerous jobs and always ends up being the last survivor, so no one wants to work with him anymore. A disbarred cyber doctor who cured a patient who didn't want to be cured and therefore got fired and can't get insurance anymore. An engineer who's like an underworld, made his own Doc Ock extra arms, but is always under the thumb of the local gangs. And this like 3,000-year-old machine that was in the Tears of Perseus. And the group of them get together, they steal a ship and they blast off into space. They run blockades. They get in a fight with the biggest pirate cartel for 24 star systems. He beats that pirate cartel by using market forces and getting into a legal argument with the federal fleet, and eventually takes over the space station.
Awesome.
All the while, there's like the multi-dimensional evil alien dark elf situation. There's star spiders who like bite him and give him like superpowers. It's a rollicking good time. I really enjoyed writing it. I'm going to put more into it, but it's just the beginning, because the Starborn Heir is kind of the story of the immortals within this universe, where it's the idea that survival is not enough. We have to make sure that the people who survive are worth saving. And so Zach, over the course of his books, is going to come up with this concept of the immortals, who are outlying people who go out of their way to help other people and have this disproportionate impact on the universe. So why wouldn't we give those people more resources so they could do more things? And so the fandom that we're eventually going to build, once I have time to write all the books that we want to write, is going to be like, what flavor of immortal are you, right? And you start small, but how do you change the world around you? How do you become the Jedi? How do you become the Mandalorian? And in this case, how do you become your flavor of immortal? And what can you actually take from the book series and apply in your life to make things better?
Cool. Again, ADHD brain got stuck on the very first thing you said, and like it's gonna be a new mantra for me anytime I quit anything or I want to not care anymore, is I'm just going to piss off and be a space pirate.
Exactly, right? I need bumper stickers.
Me too. I love it.
And we do treat it as a fandom. So, like I said, we have Star Spiders. We actually hired a Ukrainian composer to score some of the Starborn Air. So, we have this really cool like part of the story that you can read to music, and it actually, as you read at a normal reading pace, it will hit those highs and lows like you're in a movie. We added extra stories about the characters that you can get via email, like one every couple of weeks. Like to get that extra backstory of where these guys started. So we're putting a lot of work into this, and we hope it'll be really cool. We also have a wiki and schematics of ships.
That's so cool. Do you have audiobooks coming?
We do. We've done the first two in audio, so you can get the Starborn Heir and the Voidburn Queen, which kind of wraps up Zach's initial arc from refugee and what do you call someone running from justice, escaped former governor, to being, the owner of a system, a star system. So you can follow that on audio, and it's narrated by Brian Avers.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so gosh, I'm gonna have to have you come back and talk to me more about other things you have going on. And I really want to hear about Switzerland. I'm just fascinated about other countries, clearly, but
the flag is a big plus.
Yeah, right. So just as a last, as we wrap up here, where can people follow you to learn more and watch for your work?
My wife Ellie is really strong in the ways of the SEO. So if you just type DJ Bodden into any Google search box, you will find me. I'm on Amazon, which is the link that you've got there, as well as my my website. And you can find me on a whole bunch of different channels. I always love to say hi to readers. I always love to hear both what you like and what you really didn't like. Sometimes if you tell me if you didn't like something, I might do more of it, if it's the good kind of not like. But, I do pay attention to it.
I hate Reese. That's my feedback. I hate it. And now we'll expect more. Well, thank you so much for being here, DJ. It's just a pleasure talking to you and hearing your stories. Now you don't go anywhere, because we will be right back. Don't forget, everyone, that we have a wonderful giveaway of the Starborn Heir, which is book 1 of the Zach Landstrom series from the Fivefold universe from DJ. And it's reader's choice of ebook, softcover, or hardcover, Amazon permitting. And it can be yours by typing in #RemPC into the chat, or by donating bits and subscribing to the channel. You get bonus entries, so better your chances to win. And coming up next is going to be Emerald Glitch. So if you want some Shadowrun 6th World goodness, please join us. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time, Run PCs. Bye.
Yeah.
In the city of Neo-Babylon, full of powerful magic and emerging cyber technology, the authorities say that they know what's best, but only ever seem to help themselves. That's where you come in. If the powerful won't help, you'll just have to get things done on your own. Hey folks, I'm Opti, the founder of Fragging Unicorns Games and creator of the Subversion RPG. In Subversion, you and your friends play as envoys, representatives of your communities taking direct action to serve and save the people around you. But there's a catch. Both characters and communities have values that are important to them. Trying to subvert an oppressive world around you while also holding true to those values isn't an easy task. Neo-Babylon is a world much like our own, but where magic and wondrous things have always existed. And the ancient Babylonian Empire was the first to wield that magic to conquer and assimilate their enemies. Now, in Neo-Babylon, communities struggle against oppressive arcane elites, faceless corporate masters, and all kinds of authorities that have boots aimed at their necks. So if you want to play a game where you can encounter wondrous creatures, breach computer systems, bend magic to your will, search out lost civilizations, steal from the rich, and give to the poor, Subversion might be for you. But if you're looking for a game where your values truly matter and building up your community is just as important as destroying unjust systems of control, Subversion is absolutely for you.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
What a spell!
Spells.
Spell. She says spell like 92 times. Spell, 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 spell,
You get to play with us now, which is so exciting. So with channel points, bits, and subscribes, you can give rewards to the player of your choice. So how to do that is, no, not Bob. Channel points, I believe it is 500 points, gets you NERPs, which is +3 to any dice roll to the player of your choice. For 1,000 channel points, you can do a point of edge to any player. And for 2,500 channel points, you can do 4 edge to the player of your choice. Now for bits, for 100 bits, that's $1, you can do the NERPs. For 200 bits, that's $2, you can do the point of edge. Or for 500 bits, that's $5, get 4 edge to give to the player of your choice. And finally, again, the subs, if you subscribe, you can give 4 edge to any player.
is my butt.
Hey there, NPCs. Welcome to our actual play of Shadowrun 6th World, Emerald Glitch. I'm Bob, your GM, and tonight we wonder, whatever happened to Fred Finneas? Previously on Emerald Glitch, let's see, we had the world premiere of Billy Redux, the Ariok cut. After a whole series of events in which our runners had to find Ariok, then they found that their original Johnsons had exploded. They still haven't quite figured that one out, but Slick is convinced that that Fisher's trying to frame them. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Then there was an sensing session at one point, at which point Curie discovered that both Mr. Bell and Slick have some sort of strange astral signature implanted in them.
Yes, welcome to Emerald Glitch, GM'd by Bob, where the news never gets better.
The news never gets better.
We're like, yeah, we got through this. Oh no.
Oh no. So it is now about 1:30 in the morning. Our runners have just completed their latest mission, which is dropping Billy and Ariok off at the airport following the world premiere and the after party. The streets are just becoming slick with the usual Seattle rain. And while you guys are sort of milling about outside the van, Nova, your phone rings, your comlink rings.
I check the caller.
And you check the caller ID, and it's your manager at the Stuffer Shack.
This feels like a bad idea, but I answer.
Okay.
Nova.
Yeah, I need you to come in.
I'm not on the schedule.
Yeah, Ford, Frank, Fernando, whatever the frag his name is, he never showed up to work.
Who?
I don't know what the frag his name is. I mean, it doesn't matter.
You're the
He's not here.
manager.
It doesn't matter. He's not here. I need you to come in to fill in for him.
Why is that my problem?
And you hear in the background, the cash register is going off, and there's a lot of noise in there. Like this is probably about as packed as you've heard the Stuffer Shack recently, especially at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm coming. I want an advance on my pay.
Yeah. Okay, get here.
And credits for in-store purchases that don't get deducted from my pay.
Brag it. And then you're remembering, just as you're hanging up the phone, didn't you punch some guy in the face a few months ago? You vaguely remember the satisfaction of the crack of his nose. But that's
maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was a dream. I don't know. Hey guys, can I get dropped off at Stuffer Shack, please?
Yeah, sure. Slick says.
Okay, thanks. Just around back is fine.
Once we about to go find out if Fisher was fishing us or if he was in trouble.
Well, there was that whole thing too.
Well, that's a y'all problem. I have a different problem going on right now.
Sure, he just knows your real name. That's not a real problem.
I mean,
yeah, there was the conversation last time with, I believe it was with Violet and Fisher. In which case, at which point you got the idea that he's in trouble.
look, Curie, I'm just dealing with the now right now. That's all I can handle.
I nod understandingly, and then can I call Amber or Nova's comlink?
Sure. Your
Literally-
brain, Nova,
literally
and
like
it
a
reads
cat.
Curie.
Like a cat just looking at you dead while I'm calling you.
I don't answer, but I go, Nova.
Nova?
Yep, Nova's phone.
She's answering without answering.
Oh, okay.
You're running up my minutes.
So I
Yeah, she
continue.
hasn't made, she
as
hasn't made a
though-
move to answer the phone, but she's just saying out loud.
I press 1 to leave a message and skip the greeting, and then while still looking at her and putting it into her phone, I go, SOS, we have an emergency, requires immediate attention. Is this now enough for you? This is the most recent tragedy. And then hang up.
I send a text message back that says, you are in the queue with top priority. As soon as there is an open availability, you will move up into number 1 priority.
I really want to lightning bolt her. Come like now, but I won't.
Your call is very important to us.
You're only doing me a favor if you do it.
That's
All
some
right.
rebel energy right there.
Meanwhile, I assume Slick is already just driving to the Stuffer Shack. So.
Slick is already just driving to the Stuffer Shack. And you guys reach the Stuffer Shack, and Nova gets out, and then you guys drive off. So we'll pick up with Nova in a little while. Meanwhile, in the van, as you guys watch Nova go into the back of the store, and Slick drives off. And by now it's like 2 a.m. And he hops on the freeway to go to the next person's apartment. Meanwhile, Mr. Bell, you sort of drift a little bit. So where is everybody sitting? So are you in the front seat?
Me?
Yes. Or are you in the sort of the middle seat next to the door?
Usually I'm the seat next to the door, right?
Okay. So Nova would have just gotten out of the front passenger seat. Okay. But you're starting to zone out a bit. You feel a strange, just a slight muscle twitch in your face. As you find yourself standing in a large makeshift tent, apparently constructed from great canvas sheets tied onto rickety scaffolding, with makeshift skylight that's basically just clear plastic stretched across the top of the structure. Facing you is the alabaster statue from the auction. But you can see vine-like tendrils wrapped around its neck, stretched from the ground and pierced into its temples. A dark trickle of blood is dried on the alabaster rock just below the temples. The statue speaks in that slow, deliberate tone you heard from the charity auction. Where did this one come from? And it's talking about itself in the third person, first of all, and the voice sounds darker to you. Tell me.
I'm just watching it.
Meanwhile, back in the van, so I guess it's just Violet and Curie who are going to make this test. It's going to be a perception test. Okay, Curie, you are still contemplating whether you should have lightning bolted Nova's comlink. Violet, you notice because Mr. Bell is sitting next to you and Slick is sitting right in front of you, that both of them have started to they've both started to stiffen, become rigid, almost like rigor mortis. And you definitely feel the van is out of control, screaming down the freeway.
Mr. Bell, Frank Slick, did y'all need some assistance?
So you sort of nudge Mr. Bell, and like, I mean, he's like fully rigid, and he just sort of, you hear a clunk as his head hits the side of the door, and you notice that where like the neck and the head are now, there are patches of gold forming on his skin.
Mm.
I assume Curie notices after she asks if they're okay, and then hears
Yeah, so the
a
clunk,
head crack.
the clunk, it's not a head crack, it's a clunk, like something solid hit the door.
Ooh.
Jolts you out of your reverie. And you also see the gold on the side of his face. And it's growing.
Miss Curie, do you know how to drive?
I'm in the back of a van. By the time I get to the front of the van, we're already in trouble. I'm summoning a spirit right now.
Okay.
Spirit of man.
Okay. Force?
I'm panicked. So, Force 8.
Force 8. Oof.
Yeah. With my focus.
With your
Summoning.
with your power focus. It's not a summoning focus, it's the power focus.
Right. So what is my mod? It's plus 4?
It's 3.
Plus 3, okay.
Here we go.
What?
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
That's a lot of ones too, but it's not a glitch. Okay.
Let's re-roll my failures, please.
So you are still going to be stuck with the glitch.
Oh, I am?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then screw it. All right, Bob, punish me more.
So let's see. The spirit does not appear. Soak your 4 drain.
Listen, Roll20, I know it's been a while. You don't need to be a jerk. Okay, at least I'm fine on drain.
Oh, it's not 3.
It's not 3.
Just a high Roland.
Don't have many of those left, though.
So yeah, the spirit does not appear. And you shift into astral space as you sort of accidentally shift into astral perception, and you see there's that little nugget of foreign astral substance that's in Mr. Bell's head, and there's a spell being cast through it down into him. You see a similar spell being cast down into the nugget of foreign material in Slick's aura.
I don't like that at all, and I don't think there's anything I can do about it.
So there is a dispelling that you can attempt as an idea.
I don't have that skill, though. Don't I need it?
It is a sorcery test.
Oh, it's well, then yes, let's do it. I have...
Yeah, it's an application of counterspelling.
Oh, okay. So I can use sorcery. Does my spellcasting bonus count?
No, it's not spellcasting.
Okay.
It would count as the counterspelling specialty.
I'm
I'm going to pre-edge it.
But your power focus does work because it is a magic test.
Cool. I'm also going to pre-edge it.
Okay.
I just failed. Everything's awful. I'm scared. I don't like it. All
And
right,
you're
so
careening down the freeway at 2:00 in the morning.
I get my +3. I get my +7 for
edge.
my edge. So +10 to roll. 6s explode. Are you
So you got 2 dice there that'll explode.
kidding me? I
Oh,
rolled
sure.
22 dice and I got 3 hits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did. Obviously.
So,
So rich.
so go ahead and explode your 2 6s.
I'm upset.
So I'm going to ask you, who is this? This was on Mr. Bell, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I die.
It
Can,
just
can we restart the episode?
Have you tried leaving roll 20 and coming back again?
Nova gets a call.
I'm not magical at all. I don't know what you want from me.
so it fails. You need to soak 5 drain.
You need to soak 5 drain, Bob. I'm rebooting my character sheet. Hold on.
Okay, that's fine.
To the viewers, it might not do anything, but it makes us feel better.
It's the equivalent of digital dice jail.
No drain.
No drain. That's good at least.
I'm apparently so panicked I can't do anything. So,
And you still have these 2 spells being cast through the foreign material in there.
if I'm not feeling like I'm about to pass out, which I'm clearly not, I'm doing it again.
Yeah, you are fully awake right now.
I just don't have frickin' edge anymore because, hey, chat, yeah, you. We're really struggling. Please help by donating bits or subscribing. Do not help Bob. Please do not be the enemy. Help us. We need it.
You're their only hope.
How many edge do you need, Rem?
I'm down to, so I just spent, it's 4 edge to pre-edge, right?
It's 4 edge to pre-edge, that's right.
So I have 3 now.
I do see so yeah, that would be affordable.
So I can spend 2 edge to give you an edge so you can pre-edge again if you'd like.
Yep. And looking at the existing gifts from chat, you do have a NERP.
Okay, so that is now 13 extra dice, and if I roll less than we got 4 from Tesla. Thank you.
And Ava gave a gift to Bob.
Oh wow!
Classic.
Ava, you realize I control your payroll, right? All right, so I'm doing the 3 for the focus. I'm doing 7 more for the edge and 3 for NERPs. 2 for NERPs. Or is
3 for
is
NERPs.
it 3 for NERPs. Okay, so
3 for NERPs.
that's 13 more dice. Okay.
That is much better.
Hey.
Okay, so
Never seen a 9 before.
You you pump all you can through into that spell, and it unravels and shatters. And Mr. Bell, you find yourself in the van again. Sort of, you're leaned up against the door like you'd fallen asleep or something. But the gold is disappearing.
I take 1 point of stun.
You take 1 point of stun from that.
And then I'm going to do it again on.
So you're going to spend the 4 edge that Tech just gave you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I do not like this thing. And we just dropped Amber off because of the emergency at the Stuffer Shack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very angry. All right.
And do I have recollection of what I just saw, or is it just like a dream?
Yeah, what you saw in your vision, dream, whatever it was, you do remember it.
Oh,
6 hits.
Okay. So that one unravels as well. You see Slick sort of doubles over for a moment as the dump shock hits them. And then, fortunately, they're still conscious enough to, after they're done with the dump shock, they sort of grabs the wheel and slowly brings the van back under control.
I don't
What the
immediately.
frag? What the frag?
I don't immediately get up. I slowly like right myself, kind of like a zombie. I think that because that was a little bit of a mind mess, I think that Murder Bell is in control for a moment. So I
say that is good news.
I thought that we took care of that plant spirit, but I think it's still in play.
And by the way, Curie, you are still astrally perceiving. That little nugget of foreign astral material is still there in both of them.
Ow.
I don't have the banishing skill, right?
Let's see. Banishing, I believe, is just a form of conjuring. But let me make sure.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And I don't get the summoning bonus, right?
You don't get the summoning bonus.
Okay. I'm gonna try.
Okay. Yep, it is a conjuring plus magic. You do get your power focus.
Okay.
Because it's a magic test. You're trying to pump power into that thing to shatter it, and you just can't muster enough to get rid of it.
All right. So
it's like something has hooked into each of their auras.
what's the drain I'm fighting on conjuring?
Let's see. The drain will be versus the Spirit's Force times 2. Well, I'll tell you this. It is technically not a spirit.
Oh.
But I will ask you to roll versus drain 4.
God.
Okay.
Okay. I'm doing very good on the drain. I'm not
You're
doing
rocking the
as good.
drain rolls.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch Violet. I think I already had established mind link, right?
Yeah, we'll see it's still going.
We've got to kill this thing now. I broke whatever spell they were under, but it's still got its hooks in them, and I don't think it's a spirit. I don't know what it is.
You have never seen anything like it.
And I still have that spirit that's out researching, right?
No, it.
Oh, that's right. That's how we found out that
ganked.
it's still.
Mm-hmm. And incidentally, as you turn your astral vision to Violet, you see something similar growing in her astral form as well.
Oh.
I look at me again.
You don't see anything new in you. But that does make you the only person still in the van without whatever that is.
All right.
And with that horror movie starting, we will go over to the Stuffer Shack.
Maybe you all should get day jobs and not be involved in all this mess.
I hear the Stuffer Shack's hiring. Okay. So.
All right, I walk into work.
It's 2:00 now. You're just getting in the back door of the Stuffer Shack, and you definitely hear there's a lot going on up front, and you sort of see through a window like those sort of swinging doors with a little window in it. There is a line of people, and the counter's like way over here. The line is all the way back, like almost the full length of the store. So either it's a strangely busy night at 0200, or your manager hasn't worked a register in a long time, or both. You do see there's a new guy working in the storeroom, because that's where you walk into, cutting open a crate of cereal boxes that's probably from the 2330 delivery. Human, average height, average build, kind of unremarkable, not bad looking except for the dented nose and a general sense of malaise you get from him.
Okay.
And he's sort of shelving boxes.
Hey, new guy.
He looks up. New guy? I've been here a year.
I'm sorry. Have we worked together before?
The names, and it starts with an F word, but by the time he finishes saying it, it slides off your mind. He is completely forgettable.
Well, if you're not new, then shouldn't you be out front helping out? The manager doesn't know what he's doing.
Huh. And he goes back to shelving boxes. And then at some point, as he puts a box up, he sort of freezes in position. And then you could see all the muscles in his arm and all the muscles in his neck tense up. He's clearly not as strong as you, but he's basically a normal human person. But you can sense the tension in all the muscles as they seize up. And then you start seeing around the extent of the arm, like below the elbow, he starts turning to gold. And you hear a gasp as he...
I record everything that's happening, and I back up, and I open the door, and I shout out to the manager, hey, you should get back here.
Well, give me a second.
Nope, they're not going anywhere. I'll trade places with you, but you need to see this.
All right, he sort of grumbles under his breath and then makes his way back to the storeroom door. Looks in, sort of where you're pointing. It's like his face just goes white.
Yeah, I don't get paid to handle this.
Like
you do that.
I gotta hit the panic button. And as he leaves the storeroom to go back up to the counter to hit the panic button, you hear a clank as the now golden guy hits the floor.
Oof. Can I roll perception to see if there's anything
Sure.
interesting or out of place about him?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a source to his new medical condition? Let's see.
Six hits on perception. Nice.
Thank you.
So, his newfound medical condition is that he is fully coated in gold now, like even down the throat, to the point where he's not going to be breathing. But it's just the person. The clothing has not turned. So it's like a gold statue wearing clothing. You do see, you didn't see it at the time because the shirt would have been over it, but as the statue clanks and hits the floor, you do see this pendant pop out from under the shirt. And it looks like gold with an emerald in the center, and it's on a gold chain.
Okay. I quickly put on some work gloves and I take it off of him.
Okay.
And then I wrap it up and put it in a baggie and stuff it in my pocket.
Okay. And by now you hear sirens, at least one siren.
Man, the response times.
And you realize it's probably not even the first time this month that this panic button's gone off.
Well, it's not my problem. And then I pack up and leave. And
So
I go
back
man the register.
out the back door? Oh, you go man
Yeah.
the register. Okay.
I go man the register and I send a message to the scene with just like the video clip of him turning into gold.
Okay. You get no response at first. Apparently, they're having other problems right now. But
this guy's not going anywhere, so.
Yeah. So we'll then flash back to the rest of the team. Yep. Upon the realization that that everybody else in this vehicle but you has some corruption in their astral form.
So I'm in the back, which is where his bed is set up, right?
Yeah. It's like 3 rows of seats, and then behind that is set up like a bedroom.
Okay. So if I'm in the 3rd row of seats, here's what I would like to do, Bob.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Dear God, I might regret this, and I'm panicking, so I don't care. It's in character. I'm going to clamber over the back seat and open the back of the van and jump out on the highway while casting Levitate.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Out.
So by now the van has stopped because you do see that Slick gets out and starts furiously cleaning up after his dump shock. So go ahead and roll your levitate spell.
Okay.
As the rest of you in the van see, you hear a click, and then the wind outside. And you hear. Do they hear some words in Latin?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't tell you what they are right now because I'm too upset.
That's fair.
But I mumble to myself as I leap out of the back of the van.
My character knows the language, I do not.
All right, 5 hits on the levitate and 6 hits on the drain.
Okay, and Curie goes flying off like a superhero. And is just as you're finishing the spell casting, a message comes in on your comm link.
I am not casual in my flying right now, so I think I'm...
You are not casual. Actually, all of you get this message.
I'll check it when I figure I'm a safe enough distance away.
Okay.
My other priority is to get another double check that I don't have that thing in me.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I'm going to summon a spirit.
Okay.
Let's go with Force 4 now that I'm further away.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I'm taking up a lot of summoning time here.
No, you're keeping everyone alive. Do what you got to do.
What? That's sarcasm?
I mean, I broke this spell on you, dude.
But now you bounced.
Okay, yeah, your normal water spirit appears, and yep, you don't take any drain.
Do you see, and I'm going to telepathically send the image of that thing in the aura. Do you see that in my aura?
No.
I don't like how fast you said that. Take a really good look. Do you see
should I lie to you? The spirit says.
No,
Is that the next service you want?
Check from behind, and I like kind of like if you have fuzz on your clothes or something. I'm like, can you see it back here?
There's a sign back there, right?
Is there anything on my butt?
There's a spirit sign "kick me" on the back of my. Jesus Christ! All right,
Nope, definitely no sign back there.
All right, I'm safe apparently, even though I might not be. So, oh,
And of course, you do see how many dice I'm rolling, so
yeah.
it's force 4, so it only rolls 8 dice on Ascension.
Yeah. No, I get it. You said that the van was pulled over, right?
The van is pulled over. That's right.
So I'll fly kind of down and hover very far from them and shout at them. We've got to go take it out. And I know I got a vague sense of what direction it was in. So I'm gonna it's that away.
What are we killing? You said something about murder and then you leapt away.
It's that plant thing. We got to go kill it to get it to not be part of you anymore.
So that's news.
No, they hate me. I kill them when I look at them. That's why they hate me. Black Thumb.
What?
Black Thumb. I think that my initial reaction would be to call home and report everything that's happening to the concierge.
Okay. Green Mansion speaking. This is the concierge.
Good evening, miss. Oh, actually, probably the middle of the day. Good day, miss. Unfortunately, something has anchored itself into the inside of my cranium, and I think that I might die.
Oh no, not another cortex bomb.
No, it's a little more spiritual this time. Something that we encountered earlier.
Report to the Green Mansion immediately.
Right away. So I suggest that we go to the Green Mansion, but if Slick doesn't want to, I will probably bounce.
Slick apparently has no problem with the Green Mansion.
Slick has a problem with everything.
Well, I think Slick is kind of curious about the Green Mansion, but has not had the creep out factor that others of you have. And Slick is more consumed with somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
If you recall, he is all consumed at this point about doing away with Fisher.
Yeah, so maybe the concierge has answers. But I'm gonna stay up here, where none of you can touch me or infect me, hopefully.
Shall we throw a rope to you so you can tow on?
I can drive myself. Thanks.
So you don't. So with just levitate, you're not driving as fast as a vehicle does. But
I know where the Green Mansion is, though. So
you know where the Green Mansion is, and you are not restricted to flying along the roads.
Yeah. So I'll see you there. Text me if anything else happens. Maybe none of you should be driving after the accident that almost happened, but
I'm sure it's fine. I can have come shot twice in one night.
I look at Violet.
Can't this thing drive itself?
I mean, yeah, if you didn't have a driver.
it's very late, Friendslick. Why don't we ask the vehicle to drive itself and we can all just relax a little bit?
And you're realizing that, so this is not. Actually, I was wrong. This is not Slick's van. This is the rental SUV
Oh.
That
So
he's
there-
going to steal.
that he is totally not going to steal.
Wouldn't it still be connected to Grid Guide?
Yeah, as soon as you push autopilot, it goes by grid guide.
Yeah.
And
I leave
so
it to you. I'm not in the car.
he grudgingly hits the button. Welcome to Land Rover Autopilot. And it starts going. And it's going much more slowly than you've seen recently, because it obeys the speed limit in all cases. Makes a full stop at every stop sign and traffic light. Along the way, you do realize that you've gotten a message from Nova. And there is an attached video file.
Oh, yeah. We'll watch that now that I'm
Okay.
on the way. You know.
So the video is it's a guy, human male, turning to gold. You are noticing the face is kind of blurred out, kind of like Killer Kara's face was blurred out on the Ariat cut. But this guy's definitely turning to gold. And describe when, Nova, do you stop the video?
When the manager goes to hit the panic button, I look back at him one more time to just see gold body on ground, and then I turn it off.
Okay. You do see out of his shirt sort of dangles this strange pendant looking thing.
Does anybody recognize it?
It's not something you've seen before.
Can't tell if it's magic from a video.
Absolutely true.
Also, I'm not going to tell Nova to touch it, so.
Well.
Hey, I'm being very, very nice right now. I'll send a Nova. Meet us outside the Green Mansion, but I'm telling everyone else to go inside because I want to make sure she doesn't have. I imagine, what is it in oh my god, the GameCube game, Smash Brothers, when you get hit with the flower thing and the flower keeps growing in your head.
Okay.
Anyone? Okay. But I imagine that in the aura.
Sure.
I want to make sure she doesn't have a flower growing out of her head.
So you said you wait for her outside the Green Mansion to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want, if she doesn't have it, I don't want her going close to them and getting infected.
Yeah, so we'll say you arrive a little later than the van does. And you're arriving about the same time that Nova does.
Also, I want to pickpocket Buddy's ID from him. Well, no, I don't. You know what? I don't. I want to just, like... I just want to see his ID.
Yeah, so he does have a comm link in his pocket.
Okay. Can I, like, screen capture his, like, SIM information?
So he's broadcasting a SIM, but it looks strangely empty.
It just looks like nothing's there?
Yeah, it's just, there's nothing there. Like, anything that would describe what the person looks like is gone.
Oh.
There is no name. This is totally not a SIM that would pass inspection anywhere.
Then I asked the cops, who is this guy?
Okay, so you wait around for the Lone Star. to
Oh yeah,
arrive then.
for sure.
Okay.
I fast ring all these people in this line.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you clear the queue quickly enough. It takes a little while after the police get there, but they look around. The manager takes them to the back, and you get the sense, because you're bringing the people out, and you see the manager take the cops back there. The manager has this look on his face, like, I don't know why I'm bringing these guys back here. But they go. So they go into the storeroom. They're there for a little while, and by the time they come back out, you've cleared the queue.
Cool. Then I ask who the guy is on the floor.
And you didn't take the comlink, to be clear.
No.
Okay. We don't know. His SIN comes up fake.
Oh.
It's got to be fake. There's no name. Do you know who he is?
He said he'd been working here for a year. I don't really know his name. I thought he was new.
So he sort of looks around a little bit. It's like, works here for a year, or he's been living back there for a year.
I don't know.
Okay.
How much do you think he's worth?
And he looks long and hard at your name tag. Worth.
Yeah. Dude turned into like gold.
Jeez, I don't know. He's pretty heavy. Well, we'll wait till the. I mean, because. I mean, how did that statue get there?
That statue was a person.
No, that can't be.
Yeah, I have it on video.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Oh, I share it.
What the?
Yeah, can you believe it? Can I give you a burrito, by the way?
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome. And then he sort of flips on his comlink. We need a magical investigation down here.
Yeah, that's so wild. I don't know. I didn't want to touch him. I didn't want to catch it. You didn't touch him, did you?
Can you send me a copy of that video?
Yeah, and I send it.
Okay.
Cooperating. I'm being real chill.
I mean, it's a statue, but especially now that it looks like it's a dead body, we're not touching it till the crime scene guys get here.
Oh, cool. Well, can I leave? Because that's all I got.
Yeah. So you guys talk for a little while longer, and they essentially say they're going to have to close the store while the crime scene people come in, while the Department of Paranormal Investigations comes in.
Also, I ask one last question before I leave. Hey, so my manager called me and told me that it was an emergency to come, and so they promised to like advance my pay. If they don't do it, like, can you help me get it?
Seems more of a civil suit sort of thing.
Yeah, but you're a policeman, and I'm sure you could just be like, pay them.
But you say he called you specifically to come in.
Yeah.
Could make a judge intentions test. Wow, 6 hits.
I told you.
Yeah,
I talked to Mr. 20.
Yeah, whether you intended to or not, you get the sense that he has definitely promoted your manager to the top of the suspect list.
This is not my problem.
Just hang around here for the DPI guy. He's probably going to want to scan you just to be sure. And almost as if on cue, this Lone Star SUV pulls up. And you see at the bottom, it's sort of labeled Department of Paranormal Investigations. And these two people hop out, and they're both sort of black trench coat, with a badge on the trench coat. And they they don't even talk to anybody. They have that glazed over look that you've seen when Curie senses people, and that's basically what they're doing the whole time. They like scan person, scan you, scan person, and they scan everybody outside. They make their way in. And the cop you've been talking to says, I know, it feels kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
If anything else comes to mind, and he slides over an AR, a card.
Okay.
You could probably go. I think they're done with you. They're going to be looking at the body now.
Okay. Well, hey, if I was interested in a job change or something, like becoming a kid detective, do you think I could call you and ask for advice?
Sure.
Okay, cool. And I would like to make this person a new contact, please.
Okay. Do you have spare contact points, or is this somebody brand new that you've just met?
Brand new that I've just met.
Okay.
What is their name?
Chat, what is this patrol officer's name?
And would it be like a loyalty of 1 or whatever?
Yeah, for now it'd be a loyalty of 1.
Does he have any connections?
I believe a patrol officer would probably have something like Connection 3.
Oh, heck yeah.
So we'll see if anybody in chat decides they want to name a name. Otherwise, we'll decide later on what this guy's name is. For now, he is Officer. Let's see. The first one in the list was Craig Wilson. Martin West. Okay. So I will give you the choice, Nova, as to which one of these 3 names is assigned to this guy.
Oh man, okay.
But think about it as we.
Can it be Wilson West? I like the alliteration.
Sure. Wilson West, yeah. Love the alliteration. That's perfect.
It's a superhero alter ego.
That's right. Yeah. As you leave the scene, looking at Wilson West's card, pondering a career change, and wondering what you're going to find at the Green Mansion again. As we come up on our 9 o'clock break.
Oh, that's my thing. That's my thing. I'm so good at this. So guys, you can type hashtag RemPC in the chat right now. And what that'll do is enter you for 1 entry for free to win our giveaway for tonight. And our giveaway is an awesome book by DJ Bodden, who we had on the pre-show today. It is book 1 in the Tears of Perseus series, and it's a lot of fun. So Tears of Perseus is a book series. It includes a bunch of different authors kind of co-writing 5 different novellas. And Kevin J. Anderson is one of them, who is renowned for Dune and Star Wars and X-Files and all kinds of cool stuff. So you can get your free entry to win. And it's an ebook, softcover, or hardcover, your choice, which is super cool. So hashtag RemPC. And then you can also get bonus entries by donating bits in the chat or subscribing. And by subscribing, you get 7 free entries. And for every 100 bits that you donate, you get an extra entry to win. So that's how you get the cool prizes and do the things. And we will be back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In the city of Neo-Babylon, full of powerful magic and emerging cyber technology, the authorities say that they know what's best, but only ever seem to help themselves. That's where you come in. If the powerful won't help, you'll just have to get things done on your own. Hey folks, I'm Opti, the founder of Fragging Unicorns Games and creator of the Subversion RPG. In Subversion, you and your friends play as envoys, representatives of your communities taking direct action to serve and save the people around you. But there's a catch. Both characters and communities have values that are important to them. Trying to subvert an oppressive world around you while also holding true to those values isn't an easy task. Neo-Babylon is a world much like our own, but where magic and wondrous things have always existed. And the ancient Babylonian Empire was the first to wield that magic to conquer and assimilate their enemies. Now, in Neo-Babylon, communities struggle against oppressive arcane elites, faceless corporate masters, and all kinds of authorities that have boots aimed at their necks. So if you want to play a game where you can encounter wondrous creatures, breach computer systems, bend magic to your will, search out lost civilizations, steal from the rich, and give to the poor, Subversion might be for you. But if you're looking for a game where your values truly matter and building up your community is just as important as destroying unjust systems of control, Subversion is absolutely for you.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
And welcome back. So we pick up with the van. So that's Slick, Violet, and Mr. Bell pulling up at the Green Mansion. And the concierge is standing out front. By now it's like 3 a.m. So it's that eerie dark. There's only just the slightest amount of light breaking through the clouds from the moonlight. And there are lights on in the mansion, but not many. It's just that eerie, we're about to step from one horror movie into another. And she's there, arms folded behind her back.
I open the van door and we're here. Come on out.
Oh. Hmm. Oh, wait a minute. Why did it not? How odd that is. So let's try again.
Hi, Isabits.
There.
Well, that's more like it.
Oh. All three of you?
That's right.
Oh, I haven't seen these in so long. Do come in.
I gestured
Have a seat
to
at the table.
I gestured the door to the two to Violet and Slick, and I take up the rear.
I wait, hovering for Nova.
Yeah, so about this time, as they're walking in, Curie, you're hovering there, like the supervillain or superhero, however the case may be, and you see Nova pull up, and I guess it's a grid cab.
Perception, astral.
What's cheaper, a grid cab or bus?
Well, 3 a.m, it's only grid cab.
Oh, dang it!
You're rich.
And they pull up. They refuse to go inside the gate. They're like, no, we don't go in there. You can get out here and walk up.
Can I respond with, if I have to go in there, you have to go in there?
Nope.
Can I get a discount? I'm risking my life.
And I should risk mine?
I'm not asking you to go up there anymore. Just like, can I get a discount?
You can make a negotiation test.
Unskilled. Charisma?
Unskilled charisma. Oh, critical glitch.
I pay him extra and get out of the car.
Yeah, you slot the cred stick as you hit 2 extra zeros on it.
2?
You mistake it for, like, when you're doing the dollars and cents, you mistook where the cents were, and there's no decimal point there.
It's my first critical glitch of the night. Can't you just, like, ease me into it?
Of the night.
Oh. Okay, I get out. And
So we'll say, since this is covered by your lifestyle, the next time I charge lifestyle, it's going to cost you double.
I'm going to throw up when we go off camera in a little while.
All things considered, that's pretty tame for a critical glitch.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. This is me having a mild reaction, everyone. I go up there. And then I open the door and I say, what's up, party people?
So before that, as you get out and the grid cab drives off, Curie has made an astral test. You notice, Curie, that as Nova gets out of the cab and the cab drives off, and she has this sudden twinge of realization. What the? She, like, turns as if to talk to the cab guy, but the cab's already gone. So there's definitely a bit of upset in the emotional state. You, however, don't sense anything new.
I was going to say, I am not concerned with her emotional state right now.
Oh, if she's just watching me, like, react to this cab driving away, I'm kicking rocks around, being mad.
Yeah, so you see as you sort of finish your reaction and recompose yourself, and you're about to walk up to you sort of walk up into onto the grounds, and as you clear some trees, you see sort of in the air, Kiri's just sort of hovering there, looking
there's
down
no
at you.
like I don't look cool. I look like I'm about to like fly away. Like
Okay.
ready to
I
run.
can see her?
You see her, yes. Yeah, this is her physically levitating.
What you doing up there?
So you know how I told you and Violet that Slick and Mr. Bell had that twinge?
Yeah, they got that growth going on.
Yeah, well, Violet has it now too. So I wanted to check you out and make sure you don't have it yet. But I don't know if it's spread to her or not. So I don't know that you should go in there, and I definitely don't want to go in there because I don't have it. Also, the growth tried to cast a spell on them, and we almost crashed. And they started to turn to gold. And I broke the spell, and it stopped. But I couldn't get rid of the thing in them. It's not by a spirit; it's something else.
Oh wait, hey, come down here since I'm not ill or infected. Come over here. I got a thing. Did you see my video?
I did. I saw your video. I come like slightly down.
Yeah, look, I got this off of the guy, and I pulled a thing out of my pocket. And I was like, it looked really weird.
You unwrap it, or is it just this wad of...
It's just a wad.
Okay.
I was like, I wouldn't touch it.
What is it? I don't want to get closer.
It's a necklace. It's got like a little green jewel in the middle, and it's made of gold. And I wiggle it some more.
Can I ask my spirit to take it and like hold it and unwrap it?
Hold it out for you?
Yeah.
I'll throw it up, and then I throw it up into the air, just the Ziploc bag or whatever, and then just if it comes back down, it hits the ground.
You throw it up, and it's on its way back down when the spirit catches it, unwraps it, and holds it out in front of Curie.
Yeah, let's do an astral perception on that.
Sure.
Do I want signatures or straight astral?
This will be straight astral. Let's see here. With a sensing, 2 hits, and an inanimate object. It is definitely magical, definitely a focus of some kind, but you can't nail down what kind of focus it is. It's almost, you get a sense that it's detection magic mixed with something else.
I'm going to ask the spirit if, what they see from it, if they sense it. What do you know about
Wow.
this? Wow!
The spirit rolls 6 dice.
It's seen this before.
It has not.
Please.
In fact, he knows what it is. Ah!
It has not.
Secrets revealed.
And it does not. It looks kind of like it tells you there's a detection in it, and it's like it's a key to something. Like it's part of something else. But the detection bit could help you find what the something else is.
Cool. Hold on to that for me.
Okay, so you see it sort of materialize, this water spirit, and it's sort of think, and it's sort of sloshing around on it.
Fine. I don't think we should go in there, Nova.
Okay, well, I finished my shift at work. I don't really have anything else to do.
Oh, by the way, it does tell you it is somewhere in the area of Force 12.
It's a Force 12 focus?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that thing is so evil. Only evil things are that powerful. Bob wouldn't be like,
Love it.
here, Sarah, have a
Here you
Force
go.
12 focus. Sure, there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe you and I should go look into the Fisher thing together while they figure other things out.
I mean, okay.
All right.
I don't know how we'll find him.
I think we got some info from Slick, didn't we?
Slick was unable to find where Fisher is.
All right.
Here, I'll try something. And then I just message Fisher saying, late night snacks? Choco Temple? ? Send.
What is your edge?
Like 5?
5? Nothing happens yet. So we'll pick up with the people inside the mansion.
Thank you.
So you guys are sitting around that dining room table where you had the meeting with the concierge that one time. There are a couple of bottles of wine sitting out and some glasses set out. And it's basically like there are place settings set. And the concierge says, "Mr. Bell, with me, please."
Right away.
And she takes you sort of a roundabout way around the mansion. I mean, you know your way around the mansion because you've worked here so long. She is taking you like deep into the service area of the mansion, and there is a bedroom there that to your knowledge has never been used for anything.
As we're walking, there was a moment in the van there when I guess I had a dream or sort of blacked out. And in that I had a vision and I saw this statue that the hand that I gave you belongs to. And apparently the source of whatever is doing this. Just for your information, miss.
Oh, I wish you hadn't said that.
Shall I take it back?
And you see the smile disappear from her face. She points, sit in the chair there.
I do.
Because she says, the thing that has its claws in you, and she stares at it like she's boring a hole into you with her eyes.
I smile.
She blinks. It had bugged you.
I smile.
It is, I was hoping that there wouldn't be many of these this early. It is a name eater, and it had marked you. We have a problem.
What shall we do?
I will not be able to unmark your friends as easily. You are something special. And because of that something special, it could not bury itself as deep in you. For them, the only way to get rid of it is to kill the name eater.
That's what I've been.
So I recommend you carry on. I hope that you will be able to kill the Name Eater, but do not talk too much of your plans with those two around. For the Name Eater will hear through their ears what your plans are.
Very well.
You may rejoin the group now.
Thank you, miss.
And after about 20 minutes or so, Mr. Bell and the concierge rejoin the group at the table.
I don't say anything to either of them. I leave them alone with the concierge, and I walk straight by them, out the door, and into the front.
Okay. So Curie and Nova, you see Mr. Bell come out. It's probably about a half hour later.
Nothing?
I walk and I try to get closer to them.
So she's still hovering there, and there's a water spirit hovering there as well. This water spirit is wearing the strange necklace.
Oh, right.
And I fly higher when you come out.
I'll just walk up to Nova. Hello, Nova. Good day.
I panic a little and I go,
Oh, it's okay. I'm not infected anymore.
Can I get a second opinion on that?
We both look at Curie, I assume.
I'll do my thing.
Okay. Looks clean. I mean, there's the usual jumble of stuff that is Mr. Bell's aura.
Right, but it's familiar.
But it's familiar, and the foreign thing is gone.
I'm not sure that like I don't necessarily want to roll higher, Bob, but like I feel like within character she'll get a little closer and like look again, like as though she's nearsighted or something, just to be sure.
So can I also perceive, because now that I know what I'm dealing with, I would stare back at her.
You picked up the astral skill recently, didn't you?
I've always had astral perception.
Yeah.
Right, but there's a skill that you need to use it properly.
I don't know.
You have the skill astral, right?
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
You do have some spare karma. I'll let you spend some karma now to have the skill.
Oh, okay.
So it'll cost you 5 karma and you'll get the astral skill.
That's surprisingly nice of you, Bob. I don't like it.
Bob wants us to move on.
Well, because, I mean, you guys have a ton of karma and money that you have not spent yet.
Okay.
So you'll essentially be making an intuition +1 roll.
Okay.
Not the unskilled use. Just a raw intuition skill, or intuition attribute +1.
+1.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
It's asking me for an attribute. Do I put nothing?
None.
Okay.
I'm going to spend some of this tasty edge.
This is kind of important.
And Curie, you do see remnants of the thing in him.
No,
that is sort of swimming about.
No, it's still there.
Nah, back up.
Wait, is it?
You're convinced. You're convinced it's not there, Mr. Bell.
Oh.
There's still bits of it there, and I don't like it.
The concierge destroyed it. It's probably just residual of whatever's left of it.
I'm not about it.
I'm going to need a doctor's note to see that. In the meantime, gonna have to keep your distance. How do we stop it from infecting everyone? Did the concierge know that?
Yes, it's called a name eater, and we're gonna have to destroy it in order to get rid of it completely. But the others can't know because it can hear us through the tiny thing in our heads.
Including what's floating around in your head.
Mine's destroyed, or I wouldn't be able to say this.
I want paper on that, but okay.
So,
don't say my name, just in case.
What?
Very well.
Bob, do I, like, from the prophecy books I was reading or anything, did a name eater ever come up?
You know what?
Consumer of surnames.
Couldn't make a memory test.
Nope.
Wow, that's a lot of 2s and 3s.
Roll 20. Bite me.
Would you like to reconsider that?
Would I like to what?
Would you like to reconsider that roll?
What, roll it again?
Do you have any edge left?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I spent it on trying to help friends.
Does anyone want to give her some edge? Nova? Mr. Bell?
Yeah, I spent 2 to give her 1.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
that all it really does is give you the ability to re-roll a die.
Yeah, let's just do it. And hope. And hope. I accidentally closed my character sheet. There we go. Okay.
Did you have like a NERP in here in chat somewhere?
I spent it earlier.
I
was very greedy earlier when I was frightened.
Mm-hmm.
I am not meant to remember this.
There's enough in your memory, though, because you had. Wow, roll 3 eats hope. Awesome. Thank you, Billy. This would have stood out in your mind because you have been dealing with something that sounds like it might be a name eater. In the prophecies, there is a prophecy that you are quite certain does not appear in any other translation. And it's a story about a being called a name eater. And the name eater is but one of many, many beings called horrors.
I don't like that word.
That have existed since the last world of magic.
Cool. So this is like an elder god that's like Cthulhu, and
it sounds a lot like that, yeah.
So this is an ancient creature called a horror. How do I remember? What does the story say? What do I glean from?
That's about all you can remember from it. That you remember that they are called horrors. That they were that they require a certain amount of magic to exist in this plane. So they had to leave when the magic level of the world fell below a tolerable level. But there are stories that maybe some of the lesser horrors could have been imprisoned.
And no memory on how to kill them?
Nope.
So I could probably find out more, but it would mean either dealing with or stealing from a dragon. I think that's a terrible idea. About as terrible as going in blind fighting this face eater. So
name.
That yeah. I'm an alien RPG.
Name eater, face eater, it might depend on how close you get.
Hopefully not both.
Meanwhile, at the table, the concierge has dismissed Mr. Bell, and it's just Violet and Slick, or really kind of just Violet on her own, because Slick is. So she pours. So the concierge pours. Actually, there are 2 bottles of wine on the table. She actually goes to a cabinet, to the top shelf of the cabinet, pulls down a really old-looking bottle, and pops the cork, and pours a little bit into the glass next to you, and a little bit into the glass next to Slick, and says, "It doesn't matter if your friend hears this. If you don't like your friend, you might consider drinking that now." She puts the bottle back. "If not, you have considerable work to do."
If I don't like my friend,
The being who has a hold on you, called a name eater.
that doesn't sound like anybody I know. I figured we were dying, and that's why we got the best stuff.
Well, that's what this is for. If you don't want to do that, best leave that here and go about your way.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, that's
All right.
mighty kind of you, but that is not the way I expected you to say those words.
Hmm. She walks around the room and walks around the perimeter of the room, making marking little sigils in the air. And when she completes 3 orbits of the room, and she says, "This won't last long, but this is an offer for the 2 of you and the 2 of you alone. There is another way to remove the thing in your head, as I did with Mr. Bell. You must become like Mr. Bell." She goes to a counter, actually to an armoire, essentially on one wall of the room. Opens the armoire, and there are some black suits hanging there with green ties.
I appreciate the offer, man, but I do already have an agent. She'd be mighty mad if I changed my look with.
What do I do?
I think Noir would probably freak out at this point, I think Slick would freak out at this point. And
Well,
Slick,
Noir, Slick would be changing his pants right now.
Yeah,
So
Slick is on their way out the door. So this ends up being a choice for Violet and Violet alone. And the concierge says, "Well, the offer still stands." She closes the armoire. That being said, until you accept the offer of a position, you are banned from the premises. You must understand I cannot have that in here.
I do understand. It's an awful strange way to show hospitality, but I do understand it. Y'all have a good night now, and Violet will get up and leave.
Good day to you both.
I'm at the door. I open it, and I usher you out as well.
So Slick is the first one out, and Slick looks. Basically, Slick is making a beeline for the van.
I
you
move
got-
out of the way. I don't want to even like breathe the same air.
Okay. So you can sense them if you'd like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So they both still have that thing inside them, inside their auras.
Yeah.
And the concierge stands there at the door, actually feet just inside the door, you notice. She says, "Good morning to you then."
Good morning, miss. I hope I make it back.
How do we kill the thing?
Closes the door.
Rude. All right. So I have a vehicle that I'm comfortable taking Nova in. You're pretty agile if you want to cling to the roof, but you are not invited inside.
I turn to Slick and Violet. Sorry for the inconvenience. From here on out, I think it would be best if you just follow our lead. I regret that I can't explain why.
Well, I think we understand, and as my mama used to say, cat has kittens in doghouse, it don't make them puppies.
I just smile.
Well, Bob, while they're conversing, can I summon another spirit?
Sure.
We're going to do a 4-6. And we'll do... water spirits have the search power, right?
Let's find out. Water spirits have the search power.
Okay. Use my focus. I get 6 hits on my 4-6.
Oh, I also get 6 hits.
Oh, you jerk.
Do you have one edge? You could turn a 4 into a 5.
I don't, because you keep spending all the edges you can give it to me.
And it costs 2 edge to do that. So
Fine.
it's sort of in astral space, it looks like it's about to coalesce, but since it doesn't give you any services, it vanishes again. It sort of appears, it goes,
Hold on. Let me use my agility skill. I'll get some edge back.
Go and soak 6 drain.
Yeah, let's do that.
Ooh.
All right, that's 4 drain for me. I knew it was going to catch up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try again.
Okay.
Here we go.
Ooh. Soak 4 drain.
And the hits start coming and they don't stop coming.
Roll 20 is not my friend tonight.
Or ever.
All right, we're going to do it again. This is why I shouldn't gamble.
You're due, right?
Stop it, Bob.
There's a completely average roll on 12 dice. But there's no drain, so completely without consequences. And she's going again.
And another one.
Oh, soak 5 drain.
I hate this. One more drain.
So by this point, you have reached further and further into astral space trying to pull out another water spirit. And the one standing there with the necklace is like, am I not enough?
You're wonderful. However, I need you to be doing that, and I need to send someone else away. And as long as you have that trinket, I don't want you leaving my sight.
I mean, we could just put it back in the Ziploc bag.
I don't know if I trust the quality of Ziploc.
I mean, I had it wrapped
It's
too.
time tested.
Yeah, it worked from my travel all the way from Stuffer Shack to here.
They're still around, and it's 20 whatever.
It's going again. Well, with 7 hits, maybe that'll work.
Please.
Bob rolls 8.
Thank you.
Finally, it
Thank
works.
you. That was awful. Do my drain.
And you hear this groan
Okay.
from astral space. Oh, it's 3:30 in the morning. It's not even sunrise yet. The tide hasn't come in. All right, what do you want?
I need you to go search for this aura, and I give him the Fisher's aura.
Fisher's aura, okay.
And I say, I want full details on where he is, who he's with, what he's doing, everything.
Okay. So let's see. We'll do that, and then we'll do that. How long are you going to stay and wait?
Oh, no, I'm going to get my car. And only Nova and Mr. Bell are invited. And Mr. Bell has to sit on the roof.
I'm going to go with Slick and Bob.
Okay.
Okay. So here's my question for you, Curie. Do you bring the van you bought or the van you got from the scene?
Oh,
That came from the Green Mansion.
The one that came from the Green Mansion, I would not bring back to the Green Mansion. So
Okay, that's fair.
we'll go with my car.
Okay.
I didn't even think of the other one anyway. So
So the quickest way to do this essentially is you would call your vehicle and say, come to this address and pick me up.
Fido, come.
And it's going to drive the grid guide. Thankfully, it's still too early to be rush hour. But by the time it gets there, what you do find is the spirit, as you're seeing through its eyes, it goes out. It's along that path towards Snohomish, back toward where where you first encountered the Name Eater, and you get to this area where the whole area where that dome was is now covered in this big canvas sheet with some clear plastic over top. It matches the description of the tent that Mr. Bell told you about. And as it goes in, it sees for just an instant before it is zapped. It sees because it's searching for Fisher, it finds Fisher. And Fisher is there on one side of the room with a table, and there's a generator there, and there's a satellite dish there. So because you recall the matrix connectivity out here at the time was bad.
Mm-hmm.
You do see incidentally that his van is outside. And at 3:30 in the morning, you do see there's a cot there, and Fisher is asleep on the cot. There's that alabaster statue that is standing basically on the other side of the room, and it's basically where those tendrils come up out of the ground. And the alabaster statue is not just standing there anymore. It is beating on the ground. And you see as these tendrils are wrapped up like around its legs, around its neck, and into its temples, just like Mr. Bell described in his vision. This thing is... And at that moment, your spirit gets zapped.
When it was thumping, was it making a hole?
It looks like it was breaking open the earth is what it was trying to do.
Yeah. Cool. And
then your brand new vehicle pulls up. It's a Roadmaster, right?
Yeah.
It's because it's all the rage.
I'm partial to him.
It's the runner special.
I hop in and have Nova come in. I fill Nova in and ask her to message Mr. Bell. I was thinking, ask her to message Mr. Bell with the info. What do we do? Do we go now?
I send, do we go now?
Mr. Bell, you get that message.
How does everyone feel?
Awful. I summoned 8 spirits.
I know.
I think Roland rather enjoyed that series of events.
Maybe we rest before we go, or maybe there's not time. I don't want anything more to happen to Violet and Slick.
Where are Violet, Slick, and Mr. Bell going?
Well, my plan is just to continue to communicate with them over comms, and we would just follow them wherever they're going.
Okay, so you guys are still basically on the ground.
We're all there. Yeah, we're all there. Yeah.
When this Roadmaster pulls up, you know what? By now, Slick would have said, "Hey, I want to get my Roadmaster." So we'll say that's what happened. So the 2 Roadmasters pull up at about the same time.
If you like, you can park this SUV on the mansion grounds. You can get it whenever you need it. Price. No,
I'm gonna send it back to the donut shop. It's gonna save my parking spot. You know, when the morning rush hits, I mean, any parking spot that's empty, they're gonna take.
Fair enough.
So he hits the button for the second time tonight, and sends the Land Rover to his normal spot at the donut shop, and you guys pile into the rolling apartment that is Slick's Roadmaster. So now the 2 Roadmasters are there. Curie, you get the sense that with the beating on the ground, trying to open the earth, the clock is probably ticking.
Yeah. I think we need to go tonight.
Okay, you're the driver.
Yes.
You are the driver, aren't you?
Speaking of, I'm gonna put Grid Guide on and take a nap because I wanna.
Okay.
So I'm like, you're the driver, and I just roll over in my seat.
So Nova, it's like everybody who drives a Roadmaster just falls asleep in the driver's seat
So weird.
because Slick does the same thing.
Now you're by yourself.
And you remember Fisher in Fisher's van, he would do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, do people even drive anymore, or do they have their vehicles drive them?
Feel free to control the radio. And
So with the nap coming up, we are close to the 10 o'clock hour, so we'll take our 10-minute break.
all right, so that means it's me. And I'm
You're on.
stressed out. But while I'm stressed out, you could be getting a book that helps you relax. How do you do that? You type #RunPC into the chat, and that gets you one free entry to win tonight's drawing, which will happen around, I think, 11 Eastern. So about an hour from now. And basically, you will get a copy of the first book in the Tears of Perseus series, which I know the name of. It is the Starborn Heir, and it's the book one of the Zach Landstrom series from the Fivefold universe. And the author, who we had on earlier for Rules of Cool for the interview, very generously is donating Reader's Choice. So if you want an ebook, if you want a soft cover, or if you want a hardcover, the choice is yours. And you get that one free entry by typing #RunPC in the chat. You get bonus entries for every 100 bits you donate. You can get another free entry. And then if you subscribe to the Gen Con TV channel, you can have 7 whole bonus entries. That's 2 bonus entries for free. So you should do the thing. And in the meantime, we will be back in about 10 minutes. Bye.
In the city of Neo-Babylon, full of powerful magic and emerging cyber technology, the authorities say that they know what's best, but only ever seem to help themselves. That's where you come in. If the powerful won't help, you'll just have to get things done on your own. Hey folks, I'm Opti, the founder of Fragging Unicorns Games and creator of the Subversion RPG. In Subversion, you and your friends play as envoys, representatives of your communities taking direct action to serve and save the people around you. But there's a catch. Both characters and communities have values that are important to them. Trying to subvert an oppressive world around you while also holding true to those values isn't an easy task. Neo-Babylon is a world much like our own, but where magic and wondrous things have always existed. And the ancient Babylonian Empire was the first to wield that magic to conquer and assimilate their enemies. Now, in Neo-Babylon, communities struggle against oppressive arcane elites, faceless corporate masters, and all kinds of authorities that have boots aimed at their necks. So if you want to play a game where you can encounter wondrous creatures, breach computer systems, bend magic to your will, search out lost civilizations, steal from the rich, and give to the poor, Subversion might be for you. But if you're looking for a game where your values truly matter and building up your community is just as important as destroying unjust systems of control, Subversion is absolutely for you.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
What a spell! Spell. She says spell like 92 times. Spell.
You get to play with us now, which is so exciting. So with channel points, bits, and subscribes, you can give rewards to the player of your choice. So how to do that is, no, not that. channel points. I believe it is 500 points gets you NERPs, which is +3 to any dice roll to the player of your choice. For 1,000 channel points, you can do a point of edge to any player. And for 2,500 channel points, you can do 4 edge to the player of your choice. Now for bits, for 100 bits, that's $1, you can do the NERPs. For 200 bits, that's $2, you can do the point of edge. Or for 500 bits, that's $5, get 4 edge to give to the player of your choice. And finally, again, the subs, if you subscribe, you can give 4 edge to any player.
Welcome back. Our runners are desperately trying to decide how to handle the situation they found themselves in, with what amounts to an elder god about to be broken out of its prison. And the clock is apparently ticking, and it's like 3:30 in the morning. So, what are you gonna do?
Still sleeping.
Yeah. So Curie and Nova, the van is on its way out to Snohomish because that's where Curie put the autopilot on so she could take a nap.
So this thing is a plant thing, right?
Yeah, in fact, you used some herbicide before on it.
I would like to contact my fixer, Johnny Two Fingers.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Sorry I'm reaching out so late, but I'm on a job, kinda. It's a personal job, really. I need some very strong herbicide. Do you have anything that might not be legal grade?
Personal job. That doesn't sound very profitable.
No, I really hate it.
So I will ask you, do you have any of those grenades left? Or did you guys use them all?
I have grenades.
No, the insecticide, the herbicide
Oh,
grenade.
the herbicide grenades? No,
Or
I'm
did you
pretty sure we used them all.
Okay, so yeah, you guys probably used them all. Those didn't seem to affect those tendrils as much, but you were dealing with other plants at the time.
Yeah.
So your guess is you're going to need something stronger.
Mm-hmm. I want something non-legal grade.
Non-legal grade.
Yes. We'll pay extra.
Yeah, we'll pay that. That's music to my ears right there. We'll pay extra. Look. Yeah. Let's I don't carry much herbicide, but the things I carry will also kill plants.
This is more than just a plant.
Well, maybe you're in luck then.
Okay.
Yeah, because what I got here, roll for me 4 dice. You may use bennies if you'd like. You're essentially lending them to your contact.
Can you repeat that last part?
You may use bennies or personal edge if you like.
Okay.
You're essentially rolling for your contact.
Then yes, I will add.
But he's starting with 4 dice.
4 d6 greater than 5. Please. Unrecognized command. I've ruined it. Okay. R space 4d6 greater than 5.
Stand by.
I ruined it again. Hold on.
Stand by. Arranging 3 hits.
Yeah.
Greater than 5. Nothing.
I think you were spending on that.
Yes, I thought I had to roll separate. Sorry.
No, you can roll that all together.
Okay, well then 7.
And in fact, re-roll that too.
Okay, 7 d6.
Jesus.
Can I use my edge to reroll my failures?
Yes. 4 edge. Reroll your failures.
Yep, no more edge for me. All right. / roll 6d6 greater than 5. Please. Okay, 4.
Yeah, so what I got will also kill plants, and is also illegal. You know what I'm talking about. And over the video feed in the comlink, I got some really good stuff down here. You're gonna clean me out, but it'll cost you 5,000.
Thanks, Johnny, for taking care of me. Since this is so detrimental, I'm going to throw you a tip.
Sweet.
Nice. I'll give him 10K upon arrival.
Oof, okay.
I have the money. You've seen my bank account.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to raise my loyalty. You told me some things.
Yep. In fact, with that tip, you can raise his loyalty by 1.
Okay.
And he gets you, essentially, it's a satchel charge. That is, you open the satchel and it's filled with a huge brick of rating 15 plastic explosive.
Does it operate like a grenade?
I mean, I can't throw it, but I mean, maybe you can.
I
So
am strong.
you're kind of strong. It is not meant to be thrown, but I guess if you're strong enough, you can activate it kind of like that. It's a button, and then wherever it's at, it's going to blow up.
Okay.
I mean, it'll count down. Essentially, you can put a time on it.
Oh, it's a bomb.
Yes.
Is it just how many of them are there?
There's one.
One. We got one shot.
And it's a fairly big. It's a satchel.
Okay, I'll call it a bomb satchel.
Okay.
Cool. I wake Curie up.
You know what, Curie? You can. I think you're the only one who's taken any damage this session. You can make a body plus willpower test.
Cool. Thanks, Bob. Because he knows I'm gonna need it. Here's the body. And there it is. Okay, willpower. 2 boxes.
Okay. I think that might actually get you down below the. Does that get you down below the wound modifier, or is that exactly at the wound modifier?
No, I've still 1 box above the wound modifier.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Nova nudges you.
Very
What?
gently, very gently. We need to go see my fixer. He has a bomb satchel for us. It's very strong.
We're alone in the van. You don't need to whisper.
Okay.
Here, type it in the GPS, and
Okay.
I'll roll back over.
So
Type it in.
So you guys in the other van notice the van you're following has changed course.
Follow along, Slick.
Okay.
I message the rest of the team, say we're picking up some stuff. And then while we're on the way to Johnny Two Fingers, I call my good friend David Hernandez.
What? Who is this?
Hi. Remember the auction? I sat next to you and tried to ask you about some things, and you taught me a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saved you.
You gave him a name, and that name was. Was that Finneas you were using?
Yeah, I used Finite, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Fina.
Yeah.
And you can tell because it's like 4 a.m. He's just rousting up.
Hey, so sorry to wake you up early, but I remember what you told me that you did for a living. Look, I have a problem. You know that statue thing that like ran away that was trying to kill us all?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got recruited onto a cool team and we're gonna try and take care of it, but I remembered you were like a military contractor person. Do you have anything I could use to save our lives?
Let me make a call. Where's this thing gonna need to go?
We have some drivers that can come pick it up. I'm not really sure where it goes. I'm not the team leader.
The thing that I'm gonna call this guy about is not the kind of thing that goes in the back of a van.
Okay, hold on. I put him on hold.
I'm gonna need coordinates, and you hear that before you. Just as you're putting him on hold, I'm gonna need coordinates.
Okay. Hey, Curie.
What?
Can I get coordinates to where we're gonna go?
Yeah. You know, we were there before. You can find it. Oh Jesus! All right, I Google search the area and find and zoom in on the Here.
Thank you. And then I click back. Hey, David.
Yeah. Did you get coordinates?
Hey, yeah. Here they are, and I ping them over.
That's way out there.
It's pretty far.
Tell him it needs to be dropped behind the I say behind the like tent canvas on the side where the thing was ground punching. You'll hear a weird sound, but just drop it and leave right there.
Yeah, and be really quiet. We don't want to spook the statue thing.
Wyatt, I think you're talking to the wrong person.
Oh, well, just do your best. Just do your best. It's cool. Any help was great.
So to be clear, and you hear some buttons being pressed on his end. You wanted this thing destroyed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I have in mind is not going to be quiet.
Okay, I'll just accept any help.
Okay.
Yeah. If the quiet just doesn't is happening because it's being destroyed, that's fine. It's more of get close enough to be able to destroy it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Let me make some calls. Click.
And then I high five myself if you roll over and go back to sleep.
I'm gonna stay up now because after twice of being woken up. Hey.
I think that's it. I think that's it. You can go back to sleep again. Sorry.
All right. So you stop and pick up the satchel charge from Johnny Two Fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you are on the way. Unless there are other stops you guys want to make on the way.
I before we get there, I want to summon my up to force 18 of spirits.
my army of spirits. So that's an interesting question. What is going to happen with the spirit who's wearing the necklace?
That was supposed to be used to track our way here, right? But we found another way because it was.
So you summoned a larger spirit finally to have it track where you're going.
Right. But I've still got the Force 4 that's just hanging out with
that's right.
the necklace on.
There's wearing a necklace. So is it coming with you?
I mean, it has been this whole time so far.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
And essentially it's still materialized in the van. So it's getting the back of the van wet.
It's fine.
It's a materialized water spirit.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it has to stay materialized if it's going to keep wearing the necklace.
I want to look at it again and see if the necklace is like getting stronger as we're getting closer to this thing, or
go ahead and make an astral test.
Straight astral, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I like to ask the spirit if he feels okay.
I feel fine.
Okay, that's good.
You don't notice any change in the necklace.
Okay.
You're not feeling solid or anything, right? Just like
gaseous.
You know what? I get an idea after checking it out. I'm going to call someone now.
Okay.
Liata.
All right. So it goes to voicemail.
I'm gonna text Liata.
Okay. What do you text Liana?
SOS. Ancient horror is released in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
What does this thing do? And take a picture of the.
Okay. So at 4 a.m, you don't get an answer unless you actually go by there and press the issue, and then we'll deal with that.
I'm going to press the issue.
Okay. So you turn around, drive back into downtown Seattle.
I just want Violet and Slick to really confuse the thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're making the grand tour of the Metroplex on the way to this inevitable fight, and you stop by the Talismonger shop,
Mm-hmm.
and the lights are out
Mm-hmm. Liata.
because it's now 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and I'm gonna doorbell, bang on the door, call out Liata, whatever I need to do to get her.
You hear over the comm panel at the door. What?
Emergency.
We're closed.
Yeah, it's Curie. Emergency.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
As the comm panel goes dead again, you wait a few minutes, and the sort of the blind gets pulled aside, and it's Liata. And the door opens as the little bells ring.
I don't have any spells active now, so I just
yeah, because you took a nap, so all of your spells have gone down.
So I par for the course with Curie. I don't say hello, and I just go. Ever heard of a name eater?
No.
So it's an ancient horror, and it's trying to get loose into the world right now. We've got limited time. If it gets through, it's going to infect people and take over their brains and control them, and also erase their names and humanity. So that's pretty great. We're going to fight.
You don't mean a Shadim, do you?
A who?
A Shadim. Another ancient spirit of the dead.
So I'll hold up my hand like it's the offer of Mind Link.
No, thank you.
All right. Well then, Violet, can you step out of the car and keep your distance, please?
What are you yelling to?
To Violet?
Like,
yeah, because you were following them. So
yeah.
So you guys all pulled up at a Talisman.
Did we all go in the store? Or just
no,
we're standing outside.
Everybody's still standing outside the door. It's this thing where Liata has the door sort of halfway open, and
please assense her, Liata.
So Violet, do you get out?
Yeah, I'll get out and sit on top of the hood of the car.
Okay. What is that?
Exactly. So we're going to go fight that.
Fight that, and she points at Violet.
Hey, Violet, would you please get back in the car and try real hard not to listen?
Sure thing.
Thanks. And so I explained what it does already. So we also found this amulet my friend here is wearing, and I'd like to know what it does and if it's going to help or harm us in our cause.
She looks at it. Very powerful. I don't see any link between it and Violet, was it?
Yes, Violet. Or the thing that is in her aura. You don't see any.
Or the thing that's in her.
All right. Is it evil and going to hurt me?
Doesn't seem evil.
What does it do? Can you tell?
It looks like some sort of a detection and manipulation I'm not sure it's quite a focus. I'm not quite sure what I haven't seen anything like this. You know what? It does look very old, though.
Yeah.
And it feels like it might be the key to something.
Right. I got
But
that too.
But I don't sense a link between them. This is something else.
Do you think it's perhaps a key to send it back to whatever hell world it came from?
I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like a banishing thing.
Hmm.
In fact, it looks, I mean, if I had to take a guess, it would be more like an unbanishing thing.
I don't like that.
Well, as pleasant as this has been, since it's
Yeah, you want to help us? Because if this thing
it's not nearly 6 o'clock, I need to get some tea.
If
and
this
she's starting to
gets-
close the door.
I'm gonna put my foot in it. If this gets loose in the city, this is gonna be everyone's problem. Want to help us? Also, that big alabaster statue that rampaged, that's with her and being controlled by it.
She looks at you, so Nova's outside the vehicle now, or is she still in the vehicle?
Oh, I'm in the car.
So everybody's in the cars except for Curie.
I guess so.
She looks at you because your foot's in the door, you're kind of close, and she levels her gaze at you and says, "What have you stepped in?"
It's pretty messy shit, actually. Drek, actually. And apologies, Liada. And
If this
it's got to get
is
cleaned up.
if this is as dangerous as you say it is, you should run. I'm likely to do the same. Because I'm not getting paid for this.
Oh, I can pay you.
Oh, well,
Happy to pay you.
that's different.
Yeah.
What are you paying?
Looks at my wallet. 10,000 new yen. We go now.
And large, and we go. Oh. Make a negotiation test.
So charisma -1.
Uh-huh.
Let me roll my 1 die.
Hey, it's a 6.
Curie's doing very well for being Curie. See, well, she's convincing when she's scared crapless.
Give me 5 minutes.
Done.
And with that, you collect Liada, and she'll ride with you, Curie, because you're the only one she knows of this group.
Yep.
And we will we'll stop at this point and pick up in 2 weeks, where we see what comes of all of this.
Oh no.
So this is your last chance to type #RMPC in the chat as we go around the table quickly and have any announcements before we announce the winner. So we'll start with...
I'll go first. I got nothing. Who's next?
I'll go after all.
Okay, you're up.
Oh, you're done already? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I also have no announcements, so thank you for your time, Popcorn Jen.
I'm Jen. I run the Geek Forge and also stream with Bob on Tuesdays over on twitch.tv/MasterRem. If you join the Geek Forge Facebook group, we just put a free different kind of geeky thing. I created a restaurant tracker. I have a lot of issues with food, and I was tired of trying to remember them all. So I created some free printables that are available exclusively in that group that you can go and print out and rate your own restaurants for your own takeout needs. So that's what I've got going on right now.
I'm going there right now.
And Rem, any announcements?
Oh, sorry, I had different priorities.
That's fine too.
Yeah, so the Subversion Kickstarter is live. It's going really well, and this is a wonderful company. Like, if you want to support good people putting out good games, go to Kickstarter, look up Subversion, and back it. We're at $43,000. Our real life goal is about 60. Our funding goal was 10, so we made it, which is great. But in order to pay off everything that we've put into it, our real goal is 60. So please help and support. If you love cyberpunk fantasy RPGs, which you wouldn't be here if you didn't, go do the thing. And then we've got more Kickstarters coming, so you should follow us on social. If you want to learn to play Shadowrun, our tech, Teslon, is doing a kind of newbie learn thing, play, hangout on Saturday at 12:30 Central. So you can join our Discord channel. Ava, thank you for dropping those in, and hang out with us and play. You can come stream with us. We have a streamathon coming up in April. It's a fun and inclusive community, and you should come hang out with us. So I think that's all I've got right now.
Teslon, any announcements? Okay. So do we have a winner for the drawing tonight?
Let's see. The winner is stalling so I can look. All it took was a reroll. Ava Rogers is the winner tonight. So Ava, you'll talk to me. We'll get you in touch to get you the ebook, softcover or hardcover, your choice. And congratulations. See, it's that easy, folks. Type #RemPC. We don't have many people do it. So like
and give me
a really good chance. Yeah, really good chance to win. And you can also not give Bob edge because he gets plenty. So
because our runners are getting to the point where they're going to need some edge.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very true.
Right.
We need all the help we can get. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
To you, Bob.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to the players for making it fun. Thank you to Tom for Teslon for keeping us on track. It's been fun, and we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Next week is our one shot. What's up?
Yes. Our one shot show is next week, and our own Isabel, who was here in the chat earlier, is going to GM Blades in the Dark, which is a really fun game. It was like filled up first for our streamathon last time, which Elizabeth also ran. And she is an absolute delight and would love it if you guys tuned in to watch and hang out and support. So tune in next week.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.